go in the race for a championship as we take the fight to South Florida. 4 teams will leave here tonight with a shot at history. Welcome to the eNASCAR Heat Pro League broadcast, refreshed by Coca-Cola. We are live in Charlotte at the NASCAR Hall of Fame here. I'm Chris Wilner alongside Hannah Newhouse, your regular duo. And boy, Hannah, we talk about pressure every week, and it just mounts and mounts and mounts. Now with the tight points battle and just 2 races to go, I can't imagine what these drivers are feeling right now.
We winded it down to 6 drivers at Kansas, and now it's time to wind it down to 4 tonight at Homestead. And really, if you look at the points, it's anyone's game. There's a 2-way tie for the cutoff line there. It's 8 points between 2nd place and 6th, and only 4 are advancing. So a lot of drivers have a lot on the line tonight, and really it's anyone's game to win and or lose tonight.
Certainly is, and including just gaining another position could be the point that can make the difference. Let's go ahead and send it down to Zane, though, because he's got more on this incredible championship battle we've got coming up.
I got more than that. I got a special guest. I got JRM Jason Keffer from Junior Motorsports here. How's it going, buddy? Good. What are you doing here? We had Moordog here 2 weeks ago. You're coming here. Do you just like my rug? Is that why you wanted to race here?
Yeah, it's very nice.
I told everyone it ties the room together.
Well, I do feel out of my element a little bit.
Yeah. So, quick question for you here. We're at Miami. We're Homestead. We're 2 races before the championship. This race and then the championship. After this race, the teams are locked into the top 4. You're sitting 3rd. 1 point behind Stuart Haas. How much pressure is on your shoulders going 2nd tonight?
I mean, a ton of pressure. I mean, it's, hopefully Tyler will have a good race. I mean, he's pretty much been the man to keep us in contention all year. So as long as he has a good race, it takes the pressure down a little bit. But any little mistakes or something crazy happens in an Xbox race, and it's all right there. For all the guys on the PS4 side, I mean, we're all going to have to battle really hard.
Gotcha. And the JRM guys have been known for strategy. We saw it with Doha, the road courses. We saw it each week in, week out. You guys are almost the longest team on the green flag run. Going in here, how much is strategy going to play into your part? Do you worried about just points? Or are you going to try to put yourself up front? Because we talked about it during practice sessions. You got a decent car, but a little bit of trickery and stuff. Do you feel that's going to be the issue to get you up front to run for that top 5 or win tonight?
I got a good car.
You got a good car?
I don't want to say too much.
Okay.
We got some guys.
What
the
you
race
running?
hasn't started yet, but I do think there's going to be some strategy. I mean, this track does eat up tires. You're going to have to figure out what the best strategy for you is. I know what we got, and I'm happy with it. So I hope it works out for the race.
Well, Jason, we wish you the best of luck. Thanks for hanging out with you. Yeah. But we're going to go ahead and kick it back up to Chris and Hannah up in the booth.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys. And yeah, I love that answer. Yeah, I've got a good car, but I'm not going to tell you anything just yet because all these guys are watching the broadcast right now before we get started to go racing. Hannah, let me tell you what, though, that team, Junior Motorsports, is certainly on the rise. And being 1 point, it really could be 1 position there at the end.
And it could. And we saw that jump at Kansas with the win by Doha. They went from 6th to 3rd in points. And 3rd is a good place to be tonight, but they're not quite safe. So speaking of Kansas, if you weren't able to join us 2 weeks ago for all the action, take a look at this recap.
We're going to find out who's going to take the checkered flag for PlayStation as we drop the hammer at Kansas, and it's time to go playoff racing.
The draft is definitely going to be into play tonight at Kansas. Ooh, contact with Slade there. Not something you want to do early on in the race.
Oh, we got an accident on the back straightaway. Fluffy's involved. 2 cars were spinning and caution waves on the speedway. Just 7 laps into this event.
CSHG.
Slide jump!
Oh, that was perfect. He did it! Junior, yes!
He didn't make it happen, though.
Oh, he certainly made it try. There goes the 42, folks. The 42, new leader here at Kansas Speedway. Pit stops commence. The final pit stops of the night as caution is out on the speedway.
Smoke, you are a freaking moron, dude. Unbelievable.
I blew a tire, bro. It was an accident.
Off of corner number 4, they touch, but it's going to be the 42 of Parker getting his first win of the season here at Kansas Speedway. Green flag is out for the Xbox drivers here at Kansas Speedway.
Ooh, some contact as he slips into the high groove, gets out of that draft, gets slipped back, and hands the lead over. Wow, that's garbage.
We got 1 car in the grass. That's the 18 of the Bolt. But that's just going to allow that front pack to start to move away as they all go back to rim riding around the outside of Kansas Speedway.
Contact in the top 3 or 4. Garbage at the bottom of the racetrack.
Whoa!
Slick goes around.
We're still green as contact is made now between Moordog and the 6 of Garbage. Sonny gets down into the grass, contact now on the wall, and we've got multiple cars around. That's Diego, the Bolt was involved.
He's taking advantage of that shot there, taking the lead from track bar. Great run there, goes to the bottom.
Coming to the line, and the checkered flag is out for the 88.
And
finally.
there it is. You can see the excitement for JRM Dohar.
Well, he was a bridesmaid so many times, but it was good to see Dohar get back in winner's circle. But how about this for your point standings, folks? We mentioned how close it was. Penske Esports, though, that 17 points, a comfortable margin, still not safe yet. Nobody's locked in.
No one is locked in, and you look there, Gibbs Gaming, the last team in contention, only 1 point out and 1 point to the good. Junior Motorsports, who's in third, while Penske is sitting pretty good there at the top with 17 points to the good. They could still have a rough night that could put them real close. And Zane, let's bring you back into this conversation here. You know a little bit more about these points. Drivers have been talking about it. It is close. It could come down to a tiebreaker for one of these teams tonight.
Yeah, I actually, using my Magic 8 Ball, I suspect a tiebreaker is going to happen. These points are so close. These are closer than what we saw at Vegas, and even I think the Daytona in the race before it. I'm blanking on that race. But right now, 17 points is Penske's lead. If Penske finishes 14th or worse, and the rest of the 6 drivers finish in the top 5, it's over for them. They flopped, they freaked out, they lost it. But the battle between 2nd to 6th is so close, you could throw a blanket over them. Anybody's race, Stewart-Haas, JRM, Roush, Levine, Gibbs, these guys are within 4 to 1 to 0 points of one another. It's going to be insane tonight, and it's anybody's race. It's so much, like, I have goosebumps just thinking about it, and I'm really bad at math, so I don't have to do math later on either, and it's going to be really bad.
Yeah, thankfully we have people that do that for us. So thank you so much, Zane. We appreciate it. And as you can see back in the booth, we got a special guest with us. Mr. Blake Cook is joining us. You're an entrepreneur, former driver, analyst. You pretty much do it all. Welcome to eNASCAR Heat Pro League. What do you think of this so far?
I'm a big fan of eNASCAR. This is great, tight points battle. You know, these guys have been working so hard every day, every week, racing, all for this moment, this race tonight, to make it to the championship round, because that's what it's all about.
Now, we were up before the show started. We were debriefing, going through some of the points and what these drivers have been going through all season. And you looked at the point sheet and said, wow, that is close. What is a driver right now feeling with the pressure and knowing that it all comes down to one race like this that could essentially be the end of their playoff run?
Yeah, it's the pressure of all week, right? In every race before, too, it's not just one race that gets you here. It's the consistency. It's working together with their crew chiefs well. These guys have help setting up their cars. It's a big deal. You're not stuck in a little box. They have a lot of options they can do, and when they show up, they hope they get it right. And these 4 guys, I mean, there's actually 6 of them that are really capable of being in that top 4, and the points is so tight that it is coming down to this race. These guys have been nervous for a week now or longer because it's all on the line. Now's what counts, and we'll see who makes it.
And it's got to be exciting for you too as well, having Filter Time on the race car of Keffer, who's in the building with us. How cool is it to see that here in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League?
It's amazing to see Filter Time on it. A company I started a little over a year ago, and to see it on the track, and Dohar got that win.
Yeah, how about that?
Yeah, and I got to meet Keffer in person. I've talked to these guys so much through social media, interacting with both of them, a lot of the eNASCAR guys too. So I love it. I'm a big fan. I watch it, and I can't wait to watch tonight's race too.
Awesome. Well, we're looking forward to having you in studio with us as well to help us call these races for the night. And before we get going racing, there's been a driver we've kept our eye on all season. He's really gained some speed and has been an entertaining one. That would be Garbage with Rouse Fenway Gaming. Let's learn a little bit more about that driver.
What's going on, guys? Wow, that's Garbage here, pilot of the number 6 Oscar Mayer Ford for Roush Fenway Racing. Welcome to my racing quarters. Leading the pack while that's Garbage. A little bit of sarcasm, do something bad while that's Garbage. Just kind of fits every situation. So, standard 42-inch TV, nothing crazy. Standard Thrustmaster TMX Pro, nothing crazy. Snake in the background, he cheers me on. I'll spare some of the viewers on those details. You're welcome. Do construction, standing decks, rebuilding decks. Keeps us pretty busy. It's pretty hard work. Some days are obviously tougher than others, but in the end it all balances out and keeps good tan, keeps us in shape, keeps pockets full, keeps everybody happy. Anything outdoors. I love to fish, I love to hike, I love to kayak. The thing that eats up the most of my time, and most of you know what's getting ready to come here, is this. Alright, this is what eats up most of my spare time and money. I've learned a lot working on it. Filing rings, weighing rods, circuits of the carburetor, whole 9 yards. Yes, carburetor. Old school meets new school, friends. Anything to get your hands dirty.
One of my favorite things about these profiles is usually we get to see the pets that some of these drivers have.
The
and
dogs especially.
We've seen some very cute dogs. And Garbage, I appreciate, taking animals in, but feel free to leave your snake at home. We don't need it here in the studio. I'm good. I like to, do my job efficiently without a snake. But I commend you for that.
Hey, pretty cool stuff, but it's awesome to see kind of the environments that our drivers race in, and having a snake is just something pretty different.
And another one of those teams tight in the points battle is Gibbs Gaming. And one of their drivers, the Bolt, has caught some late season momentum and is looking to capitalize on tonight's last race. Joins us now in the pre-race, the Bolt. It comes down to tonight to get yourself locked into those final four. What is the pressure like, and what's going through your mind right now?
There's definitely a little bit of pressure going into this race. There's a lot on the line. My mindset going into this race is to have fun and go out there and win the race. Unfortunately, this season I haven't gotten a win yet. It's been bugging me quite a bit, but I'm going to do all that I can to make sure that I get to the front and stay there and do the best I can for Gibbs Gaming to make sure that we move on to the Final Four.
You and your teammate Voltage both have just seen bursts of speed as of late in this back half of the season. When it comes down to it, with 2 or 3 laps to go, how aggressive are you going to be knowing that every point could be the difference of you guys advancing?
You're going to have to be aggressive because, like you said, every point matters, and you have to make sure you get as many points as possible going into the race, just because you don't know what everyone else is doing. You don't know what's going on in the back half of the field, or if you're in the middle, what's going on in the front, because you don't really know what's happening to everyone else throughout the race. And so you just got to be on it, be prepared, and do what you got to do. I'll try to do it as cleanly as possible. I don't want to bump anyone out of the way, but just trying to make sure that our team's in the best position possible.
And while we know that win is on your mind, obviously this is a group effort. It's going to have to come down to obviously both of you having a good run tonight. What's the conversation been like between you and Voltage going into the race?
Our conversations have been pretty much to, keep an eye on everyone that we're fighting with in the championship. So Roush, JRM, Levine. I'm trying to remember. There's another team in there that's we're fighting with. So just keep an eye on all those drivers and where they are on track and what I could do to catch them or what I could do in strategy. So just keep an eye on them and, make sure that I'm ahead of them.
And you've got that 4th place starting position. So you're sitting pretty good. Best of luck to you tonight, the Bolt.
Thank you very much. And let's go out there and get the W.
All right, so here's how it will roll out for your Xbox One's drivers, starting with Mr. Trackbar. Mr. Consistency back in the front, as well as Wow That's Garbage, a new internet connection, and that guy's got a hot rod starting on the front row.
Penske picking up the speed there with that 3rd starting spot, and the Bolt, we just talked to him, great qualifying run for him in 4th.
Middle of the pack, SHG Slick, Stewart Haas Gaming trying to find a little more momentum, some struggles lately, and then looking at HD Motorsports with Levine Family Gaming still in the hunt.
And you look back there, JRM Dohar, the man on a mission, got a win recently in 14th, did not take a time in qualifying. So unfortunately for him, he's going to have some ground to make up.
Hey, this team's not in the playoffs, but don't let them fool you. Petty Esports has something to prove in the last 2 races of the eNASCAR Heat Pro League, and its drivers Mike, RPM, and Diego are out for trying to get another win, trying to get a first win of the season, and they're trying to do it here today at Homestead-Miami Speedway. And guess what? They're both together. I think for the first time this season, both drivers sitting together, getting ready to race. Mike, RPM, Diego, thanks for joining us on the pre-race show. Guys, well, Diego, we'll start with you. What's it like having your teammate there with you so you don't have to worry about calling or messaging him on Discord?
No, yeah, it's been huge, especially I feel like the biggest thing, at least for us, just hanging out the last few days is just setting up the spots, and he's able to watch me drive and kind of give me feedback live in person as opposed to recording videos, sending it to him and all that. But yeah, just to have him in-house tonight's going to be huge, just as a spotter, as a crew chief, as everything. So it's going to be a fun night.
Now, Diego, you actually live in California, but you guys are up at Mike's hometown there in Pennsylvania. Was this a friendship that was something before the eNASCAR Heat Pro League, or is this all just worked out to where you guys have become friends and, hey, now you're running a race tonight at Homestead, but you're in the same place?
Well, we weren't friends. We actually didn't even know each other before we got drafted, but we just kept in contact, sharing setups, working together day to day, and we turned out to be really good friends. And I'm glad that he could come up and make the trip. We were originally going to go down to Dover as well, but something came up in his schedule, and I actually got to see Jobs down there, so that was fun. We had a good time down there.
No, yeah, it's honestly been a lot of fun. This is probably one of the biggest things for me since joining the Pro League is just the friendship that we've had as teammates. and we work really well together. We have a lot of similar interests. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
Sure, it's been a great trip. Now, Diego, I know you drove to Charlotte for round number 1 of the regular season, some 2,000 miles. Did you drive to Pennsylvania from Chino Hills?
Yes, sir. Again, back to back, making those fun trips again. We're just knocking out a lot of different trips between the photo and video stuff that I do and then racing here in the Pro League. It just kind of went hand in hand. So it's kind of a no-brainer as opposed to renting a car and getting on the plane and that stuff. So, yeah, it just kind of worked out.
I don't know about you guys, but I like the frequent flyer miles that I get when I fly. You need to work with someone to get frequent driver miles because you have racked up those miles tonight. But we'll let you guys get to it. Get ready to go racing here in a minute. So thanks so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome to have those two in the same spot.
Yeah.
What an opportunity to have teammates there.
Oh, it really is, and they can really feed off each other. Like they said, you don't have to worry about sending videos or anything like that. And it's nice also, too, because it's a momentum boost for them to have their teammate there, especially when you only have 2 more chances to kind of finish the season strong. So pretty interesting to see 2 teammates together, and we'll see how they race here tonight. But right now, let's go down to Zane with more.
Guys, so we're down here in the digital lounge hanging out, and I want to talk about a quick little event called the NASCAR Racing Experience. We've done it every playoff race where a viewer in our Twitch chat gets the chance to actually feel what it feels like to be a real NASCAR driver. All you got to do is put _raffle into the chat. Make sure you are a follower for the Twitch channel. At the end of the race, we'll actually announce who our winner is, and you'll have your lucky chance of to feel what it feels like to maybe be Blake Cook, to drive around Charlotte, to drive around Texas, wherever tracks are available. So it's one thing to keep in mind. Another thing we've been talking about is I'm in Twitch chat with the fans watching, and I asked the guys and gals, hey, who do you think is going to win this race on Xbox? We got DJ Studios YT talking about the Bolt. We got EHG Design saying that LFR is going to sweep the week. So it's really interesting. We got a couple of Sloppy Nation fans out there already. Got Raw Gator, WinVal. Everyone is actually really excited for this race, and it's only getting more and more hyped. So keep your voices coming in, keep your shout outs, and we'll throw them out in the air. But I really want to see who you guys think are going to win this race. Who do you think is going to lock themselves into the playoffs? Let us know on social and definitely in the Twitch chat.
And Zane, we actually stole your driver who he's got that shot at winning tonight, and he's
right here. Are you sure? Do you know what you need to do with your hands?
Oh, sorry.
You're not on a spaceship. You're in the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
So we've got Jerem Kefar up here in the booth with us now, joining us obviously in studio tonight for the race. Is there any added pressure? You've got to have a good race tonight, but you're hanging out with us. How did this all come together for you to race tonight here?
Yeah, why here?
Zane kind of messaged me and asked me if I was interested to come in. I live here in Charlotte, so it was easy to come in. So I told him as long as I can bring my own equipment, my own gear, and race tonight, I would absolutely love to do it. And I'm glad I'm here. It's been pretty cool.
Well, it's going to be awesome. We thank you for being here, and we can't wait to check you out in a different setting here at the Hall of Fame. But we want you to take a look and to walk our viewers here through a lap here at Homestead because it can kind of be tricky. So let's take a look, and you can kind of walk the fans through it here.
Rated E for everyone.
Assuming this isn't a lap that I've run. All right, so we're going down the front stretch here. You're going to want to back up your corners here at Homestead if you're going to save your tires and have good speed. So don't get in too hard. Back up your corner, roll it through the center. Once you feel the car kind of point, then you can start getting back in the throttle. Don't nail the gas. Just get into it easy. Get down the straightaway here. Get up to speed. Hopefully no one's around you. And then again, back up your corner. Get in there nice and easy. Let it roll, let it roll, let it roll. Get back in the throttle. You can actually use at Homestead, what I found, you can use the bottom, the middle, and the top at this track, so it's pretty cool. Kansas was a top lane only. This track, all 3 are good.
And we're looking forward to it here. I mean, this is one of the races that there's a lot of action that's going to get ready to heat up. So we'll let you take some time here, get back downstairs. Yes, we'll let your hands do the driving instead of the talking like I do. So best of luck tonight, and thanks for coming out and hanging out with us.
Appreciate it.
Awesome stuff. All right, we're minutes away from the green flag at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Here's your race rundown. 60 laps the distance. Again, that pit window, 13 to 15 laps. Will some guys stretch it? We will only have a few moments to figure that out. Here we go. Competition caution will be on lap 18. 1 competition caution, and again, 4 times wearing full damage, Hannah. Let them loose. We'll see what happens.
And that's exactly what we are doing. We're letting them loose. I mean, everyone's on edge tonight to lock into those 4 spots. No one is safe. And to go to a place like Homestead where things can heat up, things can get risky. I mean, what a perfect place to have this event where, I'm excited. I'm like Zane said, I've got goosebumps thinking about the pressure that these drivers are under because while a lot of pressure is on these first group of racers, again, while it's not combined event wins, both drivers have to perform at peak performance tonight.
Blake Cook joining us back in the booth for this one, and as a driver, the pre-race has got to feel like forever. You just want to get in the car and go.
You want to go. This is a time where you're starting to overthink things a little bit. But, as a driver, also, this is a time where you meet people and take pictures, and it takes your mind off things a little bit. But these guys right now, they're sitting, they're ready. They've been working all week, so they're thinking about nothing but that green flag dropping.
On-board shot. How about that? Michelle V., Purdue University graduate student, taking a break from classes, maybe had some dinner, and is getting ready to strap in as the points leading team. 17 is the buffer, so they're sitting pretty, but everybody else, not so much.
And it's super cool that Penske, while they've got that 17-point buffer, again, you don't really want to mess anything up tonight, because when it comes down to it, one other team could actually have a good night. We talked about it and did the math beforehand. Penske seems that they could, no matter what, go into the Final Four. But again, you want to have that best case scenario. And again, this eNASCAR Heat Pro League broadcast is refreshed by Coca-Cola if you're just joining us. Awesome to have them on, starting with the last race and into a championship chase.
Grab a Coke and tune in as there's an onboard look at Jerem Dohar from the couch.
He's
got the
that.
I was going to say,
shirt.
You like that t-shirt?
That's a guy who cares about his sponsors right there. Nice job, man. This is great.
Under pace lap here, we're coming to the green flag at Homestead-Miami Speedway. Again, the penultimate round of the inaugural eNASCAR Heat Pro League season. 4 teams will be left after tonight. And we'll see what happens, as we're going to have another pace lap here as one driver got disconnected. Or I guess in this way, a virtual stall. So we'll get back to that here in a minute. But Hannah, again, here's the point standings for those just tuning in as we get ready to go green. Again, so close, with 2 teams tied for that 4th and final spot in the final round.
These drivers have so much on the line. I can't express that enough. I've been in this situation is Gibbs Gaming 1 point out going in the cutoff race. 2016, me and Justin Allgaier, and he made it and I didn't. So some of these guys are going to leave it tonight feeling great. Some are going to be feeling a little upset.
And while a lot of these drivers that in there in the top 6 in points have a ton on the line, there are a couple drivers that aren't in this points chase right now that have been consistent. They've had speed all season long that could really be an upset. A win could be that moment that takes away another driver's essential transfer by putting those couple positions. What is your mindset as some of these drivers that aren't chasing a championship but are looking for that first win? Do you really race any differently? Example, these 2 guys here are Petty Esports drivers, not chasing that championship but have really shown some speed these last couple races.
Well, they want to win, Everybody wants to win, do that burnout on the front straightaway, and do a good job for your team and your sponsors, and they're working just as hard as everybody else. So this is their race too, and hopefully you don't get in the middle of the points battle, but if you do, oh well, you have just as much right to out there and race for the win as they do.
Exactly. Shake things up a little bit in the points, so it's anyone's fair game here at Homestead-Miami Speedway as we get set to go green flag racing. Again, we had some technical difficulties, so pace laps will be underway here momentarily. And again, we got Blake Cook in the studio with us. And as a driver who on the outside of the playoff championship race, how do you approach? Like you mentioned, you want to go out there and win, but when you're racing side by side with some of these guys that are fighting for a championship, do you give them any leniency, especially early on in the race?
Yeah, some drivers do and some don't, right? If you're fighting for your job and you're fighting for money and how you pay your bills,
right,
you're going to go hard at it. And you look at qualifying too. You want to show some speed in qualifying. And what's concerning here is that up to 10th place is about 0.3 of a second off. 10th place qualifying is 0.3 of a second. That's a lot. After a couple laps to your second back, it's hard to make up that time. So these guys need to be a little bit concerned about the speed. I know there's different strategies that play into this race, but you still want to have a fast car.
And one of those drivers we've talked about all season is Mr. Track Bar. See, they're on board with the Bolt, live from the Dan Cave. He always gives us some pre-race dance moves. That was a Rubik's Cube last time. It looks like we just got some dance moves. But we talk about those drivers that have shown speed. Mr. Track Bar, we've called him Mr. Consistency all season long. Qualifies on the pole, not in playoff contention. So already setting the field there for a potential spoiler, still looking for some win. He had some bad luck there, but has shown speed again at the tail end of the season, where you've got people like Garbage and Shelby. Shelby, a great starting position in 3rd for that Penske team.
And you saw in the front row the 6 for Roush Fenway Gaming of Garbage. You saw his driver profile in the pre-race show. We mentioned he got a new internet connection, some faster internet speed, kind of translates to having a quick little tune-up on the engine, and he figured out to have a few more horsepower in that baby. So good qualifying effort for him as we look at Moordog, again, outside the championship for Hendrick Motorsports Gaming Club. But You know, him and Jobs told me this week that they don't care. They want to win the race and shake things up, and Jobs had a good opportunity last week at Vegas. We'll see what Moordog can do, who was our in-studio driver last week, what he can do here tonight.
It's been awesome having these drivers in studio with us. Again, like you said, we had Moordog last week. We've got Keffer this week, and I feel like it gives viewers a little bit more of an insight. And again, we've got Keffer watching the race. You can see he's waiting there in his setup. He mentioned he brought in all of his own equipment. He wanted to bring in his setup there, but he's got our stream watching us in there.
And the green flag is out. We are racing Xbox One drivers at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
These restarts are so wild. You want to be careful on who's on your door, sucking you around. You can be bottom of 3 and get drafted down the back straightaway, but it looks like the leader's hanging on good right now.
Yeah, we're 3 wide almost there for 3rd place as we start to fan out down the back straightaway. Track bar pulling away just a little bit. Here comes that bright orange Oscar Mayer machine of garbage. Shell V right in tow. So 2 championship contenders there as it looks like an Stewart Haas Gaming driver gets into the back of the Bolt. Some contact. Oh. We got one car hard into the pit retaining wall, spinning around backwards. And the caution will wave just 1 lap into this race.
That is not a position you want to be in. It just looked like it was a chain reaction there. One person started it, and a couple bumps from a couple drivers later sent someone spinning, and I'm not quite sure who that was yet there that hit that retaining wall, but hard hit nonetheless.
And that's all it takes in this sport is you're racing so close on these restarts, and especially the start of the race, you want to get every position you can, and one little person makes a mistake, it can cost you your whole race.
There's a look at Shell V we mentioned at Purdue University. He's from Joliet, Illinois, and has been at the front one of your first round of the regular season in Charlotte and has been consistent to keep his team out front as we continue to wait and see what happened. Here's a good look at here, a replay we'll pull up for you of just exactly what happened. Coming off of turn 4, you see the Bolt there get loose. One car hard into that pit retaining wall at the start of pit road, head on.
And so we'll re-rack them here and get ready to go. Green flag racing again as the green flag waves. Track bar looking to clear that distance early on in the race like he did on an initial start, but he will be challenged by Garbage on the outside, not letting him get that initial restart, but a good run there through the center of the corner will allow Track bar to slip up in front of Garbage there.
And as you look to the left of your screen, those green highlighted drivers are your championship contenders. Those are the ones to watch. Again, anybody's in this game, but those are your points battles right now, especially with drivers like Garbage and Bolt so close, as well as Dohar, who's back there in 9th. Every pass is a position here.
Man, these guys are racing so hard, and you've been practicing on a certain line, you qualify in a certain area, and right now you're wondering, what's the preferred line? Where is my car going to work the best? Is it going to be the bottom? Is it going to be the middle, be the top? And it looks like all 3 lanes are working pretty decent right now.
And now I have to ask, you get these drivers that set up their cars in those specific lanes, they have them dialed in there, but this is a draft-dependent racetrack as well, so when you get behind a guy like Track Bar, who has his set line, his car works there, and you're in the position of, say, Garbage, are you really forced to run the same line as Track Bar and hope your car adapts, knowing that you need to be in that draft?
It's a long race. I think you need to move around, think about what kind of adjustments you need. And this track will come up and bite you quick. We saw the Bolt. He runs up front a lot. A little mistake out of him into the wall just shows how tough this track is to manage. You run right against the wall, and it's easy to hit that thing.
As we get back up to speed, a few drivers did hit pit road, starting with HD Motorsports running in that 7th position. So as you can see, some strategy played out. Looks like joining HD was Moordog, as well as Skirt Bush, J-Mac Attack. So some of those guys near the back of the field trying to play a little strategy game early, just about 8 laps into this event.
You can see the 6 car trying to work that air, trying to get to his right rear quarter panel and drag him back and take that line away and really pinch him down on the exit. And if that 37 gets chucked up off the bottom, he's going to get freight trained by 3 or 4 different cars.
Got to be consistent lap after lap, and that's got to be hard to do, especially on the longer distances, but even just on a sprint like this, keeping that car hitting your marks every lap, I mean, that's concentration at its finest.
Absolutely, and here at Homestead, there's the tire fall off, so you're constantly trying to adapt to the tire wear, the rubber laying down on the racetrack, the air going on around you. You really need to know what's going on around you so you know where to go, and the guy behind you, when these tires wear, is going to want to go to a place where you're not, so you want to trick him out and make him make a late decision.
Single file there for the top 3, but battle for third heating up there is third through about 5th. 6th is side by side. You saw Shelby tuck out of the draft there. Looked like he maybe got a little loose off the corner, but able to slide back in front. But great qualifying effort by Diego, currently running in that 4th position. And the battle behind him for 5th is heating up with HD Motorsports and Jacob Kerr. But we continue to ride on here with Shelby in that 3rd position. Again, a championship contender at the moment as he looks to track down Garbage. Garbage and Track Bar have really been consistent these last couple races on getting out front. We've seen them put on some phenomenal battles.
Contact there with Diego and Shelby. Shelby went up the track. They saved it for the time being, but that allows the top 2 to start to pull away just a little bit, and that drug HD Motorsports into the fray. So now make it a 5-car breakaway here with SHG Slick trying to track them down.
And that's Garbage is kind of answering our question right now. Do you follow the leader or do you make a different line work? And right now he's about 1 lane up trying to get his car working there. Because if you're following and running the same line as the leader, it's going to be hard to pass him. Look at him working 1 lane up. I really like that line. I think he's going to start creeping that up and try to get a bigger run off the corner, draft down the back straightaway, and maybe make a slider here and take the lead away.
But it's all Track Bar's game, and he's led coming into tonight 204 laps. The next highest driver that's led that many laps is Shelby with 74. I mean, that just talks about the domination that when his game is on and his car is tuned up right, he's hard to beat. And right now he's pacing the field, just biding his time, but those laps led are just continuing to pile on for Track Bar.
And it looks like he may get some assistance here from Shelby and Diego. They've started to creep up behind Garbage and run that little bit of a higher line. And when they pick up on that line, Blake, are they going to get that assistance, that push to maybe really shove Track Bar out of that leading groove?
You know what? I think so. I think you start working a different line. You get some guys behind you to work with you and give you that push and that draft. And then it's, what do? Do you go and dive bomb him and try to take the inside line away from him? Even though that's the line he wants, you probably want to take his line away, or do you keep running the top, the lane that got you to him in the first place? That's a decision that these drivers are going to have to make once they catch a leader.
Shelby still stalking behind the 6 of Garbage. Diego still in tow there with HD as well as Slick. Those cars now breaking away a little bit as we ride on board with Dohar wearing the Filter Time t-shirt. Knew Blake Cook was coming in today. And right now, he's just solidly inside the top 10 in 7th position, about 1.8 seconds back of the lead. Still a lot of time to go, and he's been a guy who loves to surge late. Bides his time, stays out of trouble, and is there at the finish.
And after watching these races, one thing I've learned about Dohar is he has a plan. He has a strategy. There's something up his sleeve he's thinking about right now. There's a move he's going to make late. There's a strategy he's going to do. He's not sitting there settled for running in the top 10. He wants to go win this thing, and he's not going to win it from where he's at now, so I bet you he's thinking about a way to get up front.
And you see Diego there with a great run in 5th right now. Currently hanging out with his teammate, actually, Mike RPM. You can see him there. They're up in Mike RPM's home state of Pennsylvania. So Diego making the trek from California to hang out with his teammate for the weekend and try and get a win for that Petty Esports. Pretty cool to have them both in the same room racing this evening. But Mr. Track Bar, it's been his race thus far. Really put some distance between himself and Wow That's Garbage, as Garbage is now under fire from HD Motorsports. Blake, at what point do you stop driving from your front windshield and really start going into protect mode at a track like this where draft is so dependent?
Yeah, well, tire management's key here. So instead of pulling away and running these tires all the way out, he needs to manage that gap, manage those tires, and know how hard he needs to run to continue that lead. But he also wants to stay where he's at. Don't let those guys draft off you.
Side by side for second. There goes HD. Uses the draft slingshots around Garbage, so position change there as they were side by side down the front straightaway. Now looks like Track Bar goes low on the racetrack and is slowing down. The 37 is out of gas. We are getting word. Tough break for your race leader. Out of gas was one of those cars that did not pit when about half the field is. So that begs the question, how about other drivers right now? Currently in the lead, HD was one of those that did pit. There's Garbage on the outside trying to make it to the competition caution, and there it is. So 1 lap too short for the 37, but still a lot of time to go. But costly call there.
Man, these guys, they run it close. You know, they have a fuel window, we have a stage break, you try to get there, we have different strategies, and it did not work out for Track Bar.
And that's one of those things that we saw those couple drivers pit early, and you have to wonder, we saw Garbage back up there at the tail end of that run. Could he have been conserving, knowing that he was close on that fuel run, while Track Bar put that distance between himself. But either way, unfortunate break for him. He'll have some ground to make up at the tail end of this.
And a reminder, this eNASCAR Heat Pro League broadcast is refreshed by Coca-Cola. Still plenty of time to go get one because it's about to heat up here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. As we complete the competition caution, we'll get a rundown for you of who pitted and hopefully maybe some adjustments that were made. But right now, HD Motorsports paces the field back towards the front straightaway here in the green flag as they get on the loud pedal. And we're back racing at Homestead.
HD Motorsports really made up some ground there, was in the top 5, battling there for Diego with a while. Now holds the lead over Shelby. Diego looking to challenge for that second spot, but 5th on back. A little bit of a hornet's nest shaping up there as the front row, or the front 5 or 6, have really single filed out.
And somebody who doesn't want to see this right now is the Bolt back in 12th. The lowest running playoff contender, already coming in 1 point outside the cut line. He's got to find some positions, and right now, one driver ahead of him is Slick. If he can get by Slick, that'll close the gap even more.
And we've been talking about Track Bar, who unfortunately looks like he ran out of gas, lost the lead there right before that competition caution. But Zane, we're going to go down to you. You're able to hear a lot of the conversation between these drivers. What's the update there on Track Bar?
Track Bar's not happy. He's actually really upset. He tried to stretch it to the end of the first stage there for the competition yellow. Fell about half a lap short. When it came over the radios, look where I'm at, look who I'm around. This is going to be a rough race to get back to the front. But right now, we're seeing him move up, and he's sitting in 8th when he restarted 12th or 11th. So he's got a fast car tonight.
Thank you so much, Zane. Yeah, absolutely. And if you are going to have that kind of mistake happen, at least it was early enough. And he has the car to get back to the front.
Exactly. He clearly has a fast car, and it's hard to save fuel when you're the leader, right?
That's true.
How do you lead the race and save fuel? It's very difficult.
Riding on board back with Jerem Dohar, running up in the top 5 in 5th. Solid run as he sneaks his way toward the front, trying to get around garbage there. One car very difficult to pass. As this freight train starts to pull away just a little bit as we go back to 2nd place now with Shelby trying to hunt down HD Motorsports and Levine Family Gaming.
And a look to tuck to the bottom there. Looks like he's got a run, maybe a push from the draft behind him as he does. Diego with a little bit of an assistance there to slide down to the bottom, take that bottom groove away from HD, and Shelby will take the lead, a new leader.
That was solid. Textbook pass. Diego aiding with a little bump there.
We got 3 of them locked together, pushing. These are 2 playoff drivers racing each other super hard.
And what is that feeling when you are in the middle of that? I know you're not supposed to lock bumpers, but that has to be a very uneasy feeling and a little bit of a loss of control there.
Oh, we have in the wall a little bit too. These guys, wow.
HD Motorsports into the wall in the back straightaway. Diego hard on the inside. Now it bottles up the field, and we've got an accident on the back straightaway. Tough break for HD Motorsports. Had the lead briefly in the top 2, got high, brushed the wall, and the caution is out on the speedway.
They always say the place you want to be is in front of the field to avoid the wrecks, but that has not been the case tonight for our leader so far. Track Bar running out of fuel. HD hard into the wall. Take a look at this replay here. He was shuffled back there as Shelby took the lead. Looks like he just came out of that corner a little bit high contact with Diego. Couple others. He held on to it there for a while, and
the roller coaster of emotion
yes.
Sport brings us is incredible. 1 minute you're leading, 1 minute you're crashed.
And then somehow the 3 just got loose there of J-Mac attack going up towards the top side of the racetrack. So collecting a handful of cars as there's Diego right now.
You can only push 3 cars so long before it gets chaotic.
Yeah.
And it got chaotic.
So we'll restack them and try to do this again. More pit stops were underway. About half the field having 3 already as we throw the green flag and a restart here at Homestead.
And you look there, Mr. Track Bar taking advantage of the other's misfortune, already back up to the 3rd position. He had a good and a fast, solid car underneath him early on in the race. Fortunately for him, no actual damage, wasn't involved in that wreck, just ran out of fuel, so taking advantage of that caution and the carnage that came with it, and ready to challenge for the lead once again as Shelby and Garbage run side by side, making it a little bit difficult for a Track Bar to make that.
How about that outside lane, trying to get the air moving their direction, and right now it's all defense for Shelby. throws the block, stacks up the field, and here we go into turn 1. Blake, this is good stuff.
This is good stuff. Garbage trying to get that third lane working, and it worked well. But you know what? Shelby came up, took the air away, took the line away, and he is still running.
And it was actually a little bit of a wreck at the back of the field there. We saw SHG, hard contact with that inside wall, shuffled him to the tail end of the field. Looks like he was able to keep it going, though. Unfortunately, he is far out of the draft. It'll be hard to catch back up unless a caution comes out here. But these drivers are wasting no time. Doesn't matter what the position is tonight. They are ready to battle and make up any ground they can.
They're getting after it in the back of the field, too.
Every point matters right now. Every position matters. They're all in the same strategy now, right? They all just pitted. They're all in it to get points. We have 2 playoff drivers running 1 and 2, and they're both really good race cars.
And you look at the other end of it, we've got the other side of the playoff running 13th and 14th. So second to last and last. So we've got the playoff field completely spread out. So you add those other players in that are, or the other drivers that are not in contention, and things are going to get wild. I mean, they already have thus far, but we've got the top 3 or 4, and we've got one stopped, looks like, here on the front stretch. Casey spun around, having to throw it in reverse there to get it rolling again as the caution comes out with 29 laps to go.
I was just going to say, I mean,
now we see
nobody's making this easy, and here we go with strategy, so throw that in the mix.
This opens up a whole new opportunity to have different strategy and try to position yourself to lead this race in the end.
Little stress time for Jerem Dohar. He's been in the mix, knows what's at stake. As you can see, playoff contender, but
I love his passion, his emotion, his post-race interviews. He lives for this. And you know who else is watching Dohar right now? Keffer in the other room.
I bet he is.
He is. These guys know that this is the most important time of the year.
It was cool to see Dohar get that win last week, and Keffer watching him. You know, there's going to be some communication in between these races between those 2 drivers to hopefully set themselves up for the best case scenario. As right now, Junior Motorsports in by only 1 point, but you look at the running order, and there's a couple other drivers having a great night tonight that could really affect how Keffer has to handle his race.
Back under green, and the Bolt, as you see, that bright green number 18 is towards the front, trying to make a run for the lead, gets underneath Garbage, a playoff contender who was at the back, almost actually was at 14th at one point. Now he's challenging for the lead, has some help by the 32 of Go Fast Matt. But right now, that outer lane starting to join together, led by Shelby.
Garbage had a good launch on that restart too, but you know what? Shelby had that help from the 18 that pushed him out front. If Garbage would have had that help, I think he would have been the leader because he had that good launch, that good momentum.
Shelby out front there, and the Bolt tried to get a little bit of help there, well, like you said, from Go Fast Matt, but not quite enough momentum behind him to really get up there and challenge, but nonetheless, still running there, and Go Fast Matt going to try and tuck up in that draft, leaving the Bolt kind of out to dry in that bottom group, but everyone fans out in the corner.
The Bolt's car's loose. We saw a big wiggle out of the Bolt right there off turn 2. He's loose, but you know what? A loose race car's pretty fast at Homestead, but is he going to wear out his right rear tire? This is a long race.
Contact all sorts up and down this field down the front straightaway, rubbing fenders as we've got a battle here now for third. 3 wide toward the back of the field. That's Slick. I wanted to mention him too as well. That team swept Daytona, and then all the wheels fell off starting in Las Vegas, trying to get some momentum back to keep ahead of the cut line, and right now making some positions up inside the top 10.
Wow, that's Garbage, sticking his nose underneath Shelby for the lead there. Knew that he couldn't quite make it stick, and so decided to back out and get back behind the draft. And Track Bar still trying to get that momentum up there. Great run on the bottom there by Track Bar, really making that bottom groove work. And Blake, we talked about this before the race had started. We said, hey, Homestead is known for running the wall. And you mentioned a very interesting fact that Homestead can be won on the bottom.
It can be one on the bottom. We see how fast Track Bar is, leading the race, pulling away from the field, running out of gas, and now making a charge for the lead. He's probably going to clear him the next lap or 2 because he is able to run in a place where not everybody is able to run. Shortest distance around the racetrack is the bottom, and he's making speed around the bottom of the racetrack right now.
So far, so good for the 37 back to the front. Led that lap by a nose, and now it looks like he'll clear Shelby for the lead. So move Track Bar, who ran out of gas just a handful of laps ago, back to the lead in front of 3 playoff drivers. So this could certainly shake things up, as Garbage, Shelby, and HD will now try to motor their way back. Add Diego into the mix, running that bottom groove as well.
Right now, Shelby and Garbage need to lock bumpers and draft up and take the lead away from Track Bar because his car is way too fast. Just battle behind him and let him walk away with it. These guys need to work together a little bit and not give him too much of a comfortable lead.
And Shelby there, a little bit of contact with HD. Shelby slipping back. Ooh, and HD into the wall. Not what that driver wants to see. As a playoff driver, lots of carnage behind him as the caution comes out. Wow, 21 laps to go, and things continue to heat up.
Upside down in a big way. That chain reaction started with a little contact with Shelby. He got high, about the same place he did earlier when he got outside in the outside wall. This time, though, much heavier damage for the 95.
That is such a bad feeling.
Yeah.
Cut-off race, having a good race, up front, bobbling, and then flipping. That is not the emotions you want to go to as a playoff.
1 minute you're at the front, 1 minute you're looking up at the sky. And here's a look at just how that unfolded as we're riding above with HD, who's in front of this pack. As you see him up at top of your screens, get spun around, and then the field comes right underneath. Incredible replay. Oh my goodness.
Collected a lot of drivers right there.
Absolutely. You saw the 95 took probably the biggest brunt of it, but a handful of cars were involved. And there's Dohar up to ninth, started shotgun on the field after crashing and qualifying. And yeah, a little bit nerves going on for the 88 as we get back underway with just a handful of laps to go here. I think about 19 laps to go.
Track Bar has the
17
help right now with the Bolt. So I see these guys working together and Track Bar pushing to the side of the 37, side drafting the back and taking the lead. If he can get close enough to that right rear quarter panel. Needs to get over more, needs to draft it back, but he has the help and that's the advantage right now.
Side by side, wow.
Some bumper locking there between the 6 of Garbage and the Bolt. Looking to get that run. Can't quite do it though. Track Bar able to just maintain the entire front row. Anywhere he puts that race car, it seems to stick. But Garbage with a run there, trying to get to his back bumper. Like you said, he needs that assistance. These guys need to work together to get up to him and challenge him for that spot. But he just seems to have such an overall equal car. Wherever he's been able to put this car on the racetrack, it just has shown speed.
But the bottom has been the best for him, so these guys need to take the bottom away from him because clearly he's the fastest car on the track. Take away his line, then make him pass you on the outside.
Track Bar 3 wins this season, certainly knows how to park it in victory lane. Right now trying to hold off a hungry group of playoff drivers, starting with Garbage, Shelby, Slick, and the Bolt. The Bolt, 3 podium finishes in a row, so that 18's got dialed in as of late as we continue to ride on board with your leader. Most laps led so far tonight as Garbage looks like he dips a little bit below there, trying to shake the air from the rest of the drivers as we're back on board with Dohar in that Junior Motorsports 88.
And with 15 laps to go, again, if you're just tuning in, on the pylon there, the green markings, these are our championship chase drivers there, and JRM Dohar, we ride along with him. In 10th, coming into tonight's event, they were 1 point to the good in 3rd, and you take a look at the people that are behind him. Roush Fenway Gaming with Wow That's Garbage currently running 2nd. Then you have Levine Family Gaming right in front of JRM Dohar in 9th, and finally Gibbs Gaming with the Bolt running in 5th. So right now, 1 point is a matter of these positions between these drivers. So JRM Dohar is doing everything in his power to get up there, challenge HD, put him a position or 2 back, and really crossing his fingers that some of these contenders in front of him have a slip up.
Yeah, if they finished right now, certainly things would change with Gibbs Gaming as well as Junior Motorsports right now. But we continue with 13 laps to go. Certainly long way to go still for this group of drivers as one car gets on the outside of the racetrack and Diego down below the white line gets back on the racetracks. We stay clean as we're focused on the lead as Shelby gets oh so close. But it seems like every time he gets close, Blake, he's unable just to get enough momentum by him.
Yeah, they need to work up more momentum, work together more like they're doing now. You know, Shelby and Track Bar, they really need to just push hard and take the bottom line away from Track Bar. They got to get them off the bottom of the racetrack, and I think they'll be able to hold them off.
And the battle heats up with more contenders here. HD Motorsports, SHG, Slick, and Dohar have all found themselves on the racetrack now. Dohar kind of in now or never mode. He's been able to work himself up to the 8th position. HD has put some distance between himself as he battles with Go Fast Matt for that 6th spot. But ooh, a little bobble there in front of him could be exactly what Dohar needs to capitalize on that and contend for another position.
Yeah, I would think that group of 3 that you just saw with HD and Dohar and Slick need to kind of work together because right now those guys maybe a little desperation time. 11 laps to go.
Look how focused he is.
Yeah.
He knows it's time to go. He's coming to get 10 to go, and now's the time. It's lay it all out on the line, get yourself as many spots as you can, work up big runs and momentums, and go take some positions.
Let's go down to Zane a little bit more here with Dohar.
Guys, there's absolutely nothing from Dohar. It is just pure concentration from this man. He hasn't said a word. Actually, none of the drivers have said a word over the radios, except for track bar when the caution came out. Other than that, it's pure silence. Dohar is focused, and you can see it on his face all night. He is stressed. He's tense. He is trying to put that car up front, but the laps are winding down for him.
And laps are winding down, like you said, 10 to go. Track bar in a field of his own right now. Shelby and Wow, That's Garbage, they're all looking to link together here and maybe make up some ground, but Track bar able to put some solid distance between himself and the field, as you see there off the quarter panel of Shelby there. HD looking to take it 3 wide there on the bottom, trying to make up some momentum too. Running in the 6th, he's got to make up some ground as well, points-wise. Getting a little risky, but
oh, contact there with the Bolt.
That's exactly what Dohar needs.
Yep.
These guys in front of him racing hard to break the air so he can catch him and make some passes. The question is, do they have enough fuel to make it to the end?
It's going to be close. Most drivers, it looks like we've got a few that did take advantage of pit road that last caution, so they should be good. Will the rest of the field catch them or be able to hold that off as you ride on board with Dohar again? As how about that run on the outside by the 14 is Slick? 2 championship contenders right now fighting for every point.
Dohar's fighting an extremely loose race car right now, seeing him battling off the corners and fighting that car.
And we saw Garbage there, contact with the wall sent him to the back there, currently running in the 9th position. Dohar still sitting in front of him, but Garbage has had a fast race car all evening, looking to contend, trying to get that position for the 8th spot from Dohar. He'll try the inside line here, and he'll make it stick. Great run there by Garbage. He's now in salvage mode. He's trying to get as far forward as he can, as fast as he can. He went from the 2nd spot essentially to 9th.
Dohar needs to get him back. These guys were only separated by 1 point going into tonight's race, so that is an extremely tight race, and those guys are racing each other hard.
As we ride back on board with Dohar, the concentration in the young man's face, trying to wheel the 88 to another points position as we click off the laps with 6 laps to go. Right now, side by side with Diego. There comes a point in time I can't imagine that you just start sending it.
Man,
hope it sticks.
I feel like these guys are racing too close for something not to happen right now. From about 7th through 11th place, these guys are hitting each other, bouncing off the wall, giving it everything they have.
Track bar now up to 1.3 seconds on his lead, 1.4 now as we ride on the quarter panel there. The 6 of Garbage got into the wall, back up to 7th, trying to track down the Bolt, who's in 5th for another playoff point.
HD Motorsports, we talked about earlier, his wreck heavy damage, flipped upside down almost, already up to 3rd. A lot of these drivers able to make a comeback. Track bar currently with the lead. HD in 3rd. Huge for the points for that team, especially with where Levine Family Gaming was tied on that cutoff line. So a 3rd place finish for them, even a 2nd if he's able to catch Shelby, would really help them cushion for the next PlayStation race. A little bit of a sigh of relief maybe for the Bear.
That's incredible that Shelby, I think, is the only one that didn't hit the wall or getting involved in some sort of accident or run out of fuel, and he's running 2nd. The rest of them all had to come back from adversity as Garbage hits down pit lane. So that moves Garbage now back to the back of the field with just 4 laps to go.
He must have been short on fuel.
That's what I'm thinking.
Who else is short on fuel? How many guys are still half the pit and how many can make it? We talked about Dohar always having a strategy. Can he make it all the way and the guys in front of him not?
Oh, and you see it there.
Here we
Track
go.
bar, pit stop. Looks like HD around before hitting pit road. Unfortunately, that's going to lose him a couple positions. Shelby also came down with him. Go fast, Matt. That's Garbage, Skirt Bush. We saw a lot of guys pitting there. Now you have to wonder who, with that short pit at the beginning of the race, set themselves up to be able to make these last 3 laps.
Dohar was trying to save some fuel, we think. This is coming down to the wire, folks. Jacob Kerr now in the lead. We haven't talked about him a whole lot with Jermaine Gaming. He's another driver. Did not take advantage of pit stops the last time. Now the top 2 come down pit road. Bolt comes down pit road. Dohar now back to the front of the lead with just 2 coming to 2 to go.
This could have been the plan the whole time. He looked way too relaxed being the last running playoff driver. Riding around in 10th, he looked too relaxed. He knew this was coming. Can he make it 2 more laps to get the win?
Coming to the white flag, it's Diego out of the playoff championship, but in the lead, and he's got Dohar and Slick behind him. Those two drivers were in the bottom part of the field just a mere 2 laps ago. Diego now to the bottom side. Looks like he's going to dip down pit road as well. So move the 88 to the lead, coming to the white flag. Could you have scripted this?
Dohar's in the lead, but he's going to have pressure.
There goes Slick for the lead now. 2 playoff contenders side by side.
What a battle for the lead we have here on the final lap. Can they make it on fuel?
We'll see what happens. Right now, Slick pulling away just a little bit. It's going to be close, folks. Can the 88, does he have enough? Does Slick have enough fuel? Riding on board with second place, Dohar trying to track down Slick. Slick off of corner number 4. Looks like he has the distance. Dohar may be starting to go out of gas, but he comes home second.
Wow.
Slick is your winner for Stewart-Haas Gaming, and Dohar limps it home second for Junior Motorsports. 2 playoff contenders that needed points get it done. Wow.
We've seen that a lot out of Dohar. He has a plan, he sticks to his plans. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but this time it worked. Great points did.
Now, Blake, I have to ask you, because I know my answer on this. When we had 10 laps to go, is this how you saw this race ending? Because it definitely was not for me. The whole top 10 is completely switched up.
I didn't expect to see such close battles with the tire wear we have at Homestead. These guys had such close racing, never a time to relax, different strategies, man, and everything was on the line in this race. And the guys that made it work are going to be really excited when they see the reset points.
And this is big, not only for Junior Motorsports, who's only just 1 point to the good, but how about Stewart-Haas Gaming? Had some struggles the last couple of races in the playoffs, just a 4-point cushion. That'll certainly help them as you take a look at our unofficial results with Slick getting the job done for Stewart-Haas Gaming. Jerem Dohar second, J-Mac Attack a solid run for RCR in third, and Moordog coming home in fourth.
And the man who led the most laps, Mr. Track Bar, overcoming adversity, but not quite timing it on the pit stops. There comes home fifth. Great run for the Bolt in sixth. And take a look at 10th there. HD Motorsports, another one of our playoff contenders. Not probably the run he wants to set his teammate, the Bear, up for in the PlayStation race, but nonetheless, 10th for HD Motorsports.
Some work to do for the Bears. We take a look at the rest of your unofficial results, but still, I mean, for HD Motorsports to be on his lid and then come back to a top 10, it could be worse.
It was impressive. He was mentally challenged and mentally tough to rebound from the obstacles he had. He did a great job.
And Garbage, after having a quick car all evening, was 12th, and Shelby came home 13th there, 14th. So unfortunate for those two. I know the Garbage was really looking to move forward. Their big hit in the points for that team.
Yeah.
I mean, Roush Fenway Gaming coming in was tied there with that, so unfortunate break for them. But we're going to go and talk to the man who has a sigh of relief right now, Dohar. We've got him on the guest line here, ready to talk. Did you have this all planned out here? We got Blake in the studio with us here, and Blake, when we went into this race, said JRM Dohar has a plan. He's a strategic man. Did you know that this race was going to play out and put you in race-winning contention?
I'll be honest with you, Hannah, Chris, and Blake. We thought the fuel strategy was going to play more part in at the beginning of the race. We were kind of expecting everybody to take it easy and not get a yellow and try and trap the field a lap down and go without pitting. It didn't work. We overcame adversity. That's what we had to do. That's what championship caliber teams do. My crew chief pro boss was with me the whole way and just talked me through it. And luckily the cards folded in a way where we were nursing some damage, but I knew fuel was going to be on the line, so we saved it. Had enough to go for the win at the end, but points were more important. We didn't need the victory today. That'll come in 2 weeks, but we were ready for this.
Well, great job, man. I know you had a fuel-saving plan, and great job adapting because things changed. It didn't start out the way you thought it would go, but you adapted, you stuck to your plan, and you made it happen, man. I want to know, was there any point in that race when you were extremely nervous? Because we were in here, we were nervous from you.
I'll be honest, boss man, I was nervous that whole race. I don't get butterflies when I perform in front of thousands of people, but I get butterflies when I'm sitting in my living room and I know the cameras are on and the pressure's on. But overall, you know, that's what strong pedigree is about. That's something my parents just taught me, and they gave me so much confidence over the past couple weeks going into this. So did my teammate Jason, my league mates in NNR and AKA. They did everything to set me up for success for you as well, you, Kelly, and Dale. And I can't thank you guys enough for supporting these efforts. You know, our finish is attributed to the effort you guys put in for us.
Well, congratulations, buddy. That's a good, solid top 3 finish for you guys for the points. And go ahead and take a deep breath. Maybe have a Coke and relax a little bit and cheer on your teammate.
Thanks, man. We're going to root for Jason, and hopefully we'll see you guys in Charlotte when we're racing live, and we'll have something on the line here.
Looking forward to it. All right, well, here's a look at those points, folks. You were wondering about them. Here they are, 10-point lead. So 7 points taken away from Penske after a struggling finish for Shell V. Stuart Haas Gaming with the win. Now a 9-point cushion. A little bit more now for Junior Motorsports and Gibbs Gaming. Levine Family Gaming, though, still in it, just 4 points out.
And we talked about garbage finish at the tail end of the field there. Not what Roush Fenway Gaming wanted to see. That's bumped them to 6 below the cutoff line. So his teammate's going to have a great run in the PlayStation, and someone else is going to have a little bit of a misfortune there. But either way, we talked to your teammate. We've got JRM Keffer back up in studio with us here. JRM Dohar, you could hear the relief in his voice. Collected that solid finish for you guys. How does that set your mind frame up now going into your race?
Well, it takes a little bit of pressure off. I don't know if you heard me back here yelling and screaming. I know they told me to be quiet.
That was you?
Yeah, I was watching. I knew he had the strategy. I knew he was going to make the fuel run. I'm not sure how Slick pulled that out there, but we got to go in. We still have to race hard. We have to be smart, but I think it does give us a chance that if there's, do we have to race as hard for first, second, and third spot, or maybe we just hang out in fifth and we move on to the next round and get to where we need to be, and that's the championship.
You heard him talk about for the fuel strategy. He thought he was going to play a factor in the early part of the race. What does this change with you now going into your race? Do you think this may happen again?
No, I mean, I don't think so. I think with the PS4 side, I do predict fewer cautions. So I think it's just going to be more of hard racing and hit that pit stop at the end. Make sure you don't mess up on pit road. You got to use the access road coming off. Hit it right and go win a race.
Awesome. Well, we'll let you get down to it. We'll let you get in focus mode. Best of luck, JRM Keffer, looking for another solid run for Junior Motorsports.
Thank you.
All right, he's going to get suited up, but once again, folks, here's how we look going into the final race of the night before we set the 4 teams going to run for a championship in 2 weeks at ISM Raceway. Penske Esports atop with 10 points. 9 points ahead is Stuart Haas Gaming, who got the win. Junior Motorsports 5, and then Gibbs Gaming with 4-point cushion over Levine, and 6 back to Roush Fenway Gaming. So tough break for garbage, but Roush still has a chance to get in. Well, hey, they won the race here today, and the voice of SHG, Jake Morse, joins us. Boy, did you think that race was going to have you guys out front with all the insane strategy and carnage we saw here tonight?
I honestly didn't know what to think. I mean, we were running back there in the back, and I knew that Slick had a plan in mind, and he played it to perfection, just like we did at Daytona. And sure enough, he came out on top. So he made a nice move to get around the 88 there at the end. He kept his nose clean the whole race. That's what we told him to do. We needed to be in position. We were racing for points here, focusing on the bigger picture. So it was great to pull it off.
We've seen the sigh of relief that came with the second place finish for JRM, and now you guys have a win, 9 points, I believe, to the good in second right now. What's your other teammate here thinking, getting ready to go racing in the PlayStation? Is he a little bit more relieved, or is it all still on for him?
I think so. I think Slick took a lot of that pressure off of him, which is great. But he starts out front, so hopefully he can just stay out there and lock us in. We're the only team to win both races this season, and if we can do it again, that would be even better and give us a lot of momentum heading into the championship race.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Jake Morris. Congratulations to your team, and we'll see what Hot Rod can do here in a few minutes.
Thanks, guys.
All right, well, that was Xbox, but we still got one more race, and PlayStation is just as, if not more exciting, because those guys put on a great race here 2 weeks ago in Kansas. If you missed it, we've got a little recap for you. We're going to find out who's going to take the checkered flag for PlayStation as we drop the hammer at Kansas, and it's time to go playoff racing.
The draft is definitely going to be into play tonight at Kansas. Ooh, contact with Slade there. Not something you want to do early on in the race.
Oh, we got an accident on the back straightaway. Fluffy's involved. 2 cars were spinning and caution waves on the speedway. Just 7 laps into this event.
CSHG.
Slide jump! Oh, that was perfect. He did it! Junior, yes!
He didn't make it happen, though.
Oh, he certainly made it try. There goes the 42, folks. The 42, new leader here at Kansas Speedway. Pit stops commence. The final pit stops of the night as caution is out on the speedway.
Smoke, you are a freaking moron, dude. Unbelievable.
I blew a tire, bro. It was an accident.
Off of corner number 4, they touch, but it's going to be the 42 of Parker getting his first win of the season here at Kansas Speedway. Pretty cool for a first-time winner to get a win during the playoffs, but boy, oh boy, that just shows you how insane and how pretty much anything can happen here.
And it can for sure, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see another first-time winner tonight at Homestead. But it was awesome to see Parker get that win. He's worked so hard for it all season, and to get it in a playoff race has to make it that much more satisfying. And that being said, let's take a look at the setup that helped drive this Ganassi driver to that win with Parker Setup Secret.
I'm here just to give you guys a couple tips that helped me find victory lane just 2 weeks ago at the Kansas Motor Speedway. First things first, you just always want to run the high line, stay above that seam, but it's okay to hit that seam if you have to help the car kind of de-wedge itself a little bit and loosen itself up so you can drive off the turn. The only time you really want to run the bottom is if you are on older tires or if you're in desperation mode. So like I said, just stay on that high side, run it like Darlington, nice and tight against the wall and drive it right off the right rear and keep momentum going down on the front stretch. So I'm going to show you guys my setup and help you become a little bit quicker around the Kansas Motor Speedway.
We'll go down to where it's highlighted under weight. So the left weight is how much weight's going to be on the left side of the car. It's pretty self-explanatory. You always want that max as possible, and with NASCAR Heat 4, it's 54.2. We're going on to tires, and that's going to be your foundation of your setup. So that's the most important part of this, is those tires. So the biggest thing to do is go do a 7 or 8 lap run. Look at your tires, see where they're wearing, and see the temps. You really want to get those temps even. Once you get those temps even, you'll be good to go.
So cool to see that he's able to share his setup secret there. A great run for him. But we take a look here at the starting lineup for the PlayStation race. SHR Hot Rod on that front row. And look at that, the rookie, the man that came in late to the game, DK Brown, on the front row for Go Fast Gaming.
Yeah, not bad for that team as well. And then you saw the Bear in third. He won at Vegas and second 2 weeks ago, so we'll see what he can do. Sloppy Joe, a lot of fans out there think he's going to get the job done, coming from 6th.
And playoff contender there, you see it in 9th. Pennzoil for Penske. They're always strong at the race, so I'm sure he'll make up that ground. And look at the back of the field here. Fluffy in 12th there, another playoff contender, and the man in the building hanging out with us for the evening, JRM Keffer, rolls off 13th. I know he wasn't satisfied with that qualifying effort, and he's got some ground to make up.
He certainly does, but his teammate came from 14th to 2nd, so anything's possible here at Homestead-Miami Speedway. All right. In case you're just joining us, race rundown, 60 laps again the distance, 13 to 15 laps we saw as the pit window, and boy did that wreak havoc late in the race for the Xbox guys. And then lap 18 will be our competition caution.
And you have to wonder if the Xbox guys watched that and said, oh man, I have to rethink my plan here. And Zane, let's go back down to you downstairs here. You've been watching these guys practice. You watched how this race just played out.
Yeah.
I didn't expect it to play out this way.
Me neither.
What is your prediction now going into this PlayStation race, watching how aggressive these Xbox drivers were and essentially how fuel mileage was so heavily played into that race?
Yeah, and so that's actually something interesting. On the Xbox race, I think when we saw the cautions come out, it changed a lot of their cycles. So that's why fuel mileage became such a big part of that Xbox race. PlayStation in practice, these guys have been 3-4 wide using every groove of the track. So it's going to be the interesting part when we watch this here tonight to see how many guys are going to fall in line like we saw Xbox, or are they going to handle like they handled in practice, getting 3-4 wide and using the entire track. But I will say fuel mileage won't come into much as a play if cautions don't run out wild like we saw in the first race.
Thank you so much, Zane. We appreciate it. We'll check back in with you during the race. But yeah, absolutely. It's all going to come down to cautions. And one guy who watched it from the catbird seat here at the NASCAR Hall of Fame is JRM Keffer, buckled in downstairs in his driving simulator. And Keffer, if you hear us, buddy, you told us up here you looked calm, cool, and collected. What's it like now with the headset on? You got the wheel and you're ready to go here.
Yeah, it's one of those things like we're on the track, we're moving around, we're getting ready to go green, so everybody's talking in the headset. Hear you guys, so it's a little bit nerve-wracking, but we're ready to go racing.
And we know you've got your daughter with you in studio. We got to hang out with her pre-race as well. Is she whispering some speed secrets there for you? I know she's we got to hang out and interview her as well before the race, and she's one that you're going to have some competition with down the road.
Yeah, we'll see how interested she is. I think right now she's on her phone, so.
Well, tell her Dad's about to race, so look up from the phone for a second.
Yeah.
All right, buddy, we'll let you get busy. Good luck tonight.
All right, thanks.
JRM Keffer, folks, getting ready to go. As you can see, cars are on the racetrack, and we're coming to the green flag. So just like that, We'll reset and do it again for PlayStation. 60 laps to figure out which 4 teams are going playoff championship racing here at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
SHG, we heard from the voice, Jake Morris. They're looking for that sweep. Already a strong run there as SHG Hot Rod led the field to green. The Bear, though, looking to challenge on his outside there. Tucks in behind Hot Rod, and again, joined in the booth by Blake Cook. You saw that first race play out. You've got to be excited for this PlayStation race, knowing that there's a couple drivers that really have to make up for potentially, or what was their teammates' misfortunes.
Hang on. Mic check, 1, 2.
We're going to work on Blake's mic up here, but SHG Hot Rod still with the front there, and the rookie who qualified on that front row of DK Brown was in the 4th position, a little bit out of the draft there. He's had to work his way back, slipped back to the 5th position, but SHG Hot Rod still clean and green at the front of the field for the moment. Ooh, to the bottom of the racetrack, a little bit of a bobble there for DK Brown. He is not in a position you want to be at right now. Outside of the draft, tries to tuck in there behind Parker.
Yeah, this is one of those learning races for DK Brown. You know, he only has a handful of races, came in about midway through this season. So right now it's all about still getting laps, but right now playing or getting a chance to drive at a playoff championship level with a lot of these other drivers. So good to see him out there. Long race still to go as we go back to the front with SHG Hot Rod trying to go 2 for 2 for Stewart Haas Gaming. But right now the Bear is strong. Wiggles a little bit to the inside, has help from Mike RPM, and just like that, moved the 95 to the lead as we, here we go, welcome back, Blake Cook. Yeah. So there, your mic's working now.
Yeah, these guys are able to pass a little bit better than we saw in the last race. Last race, the leader kind of took off and left the field a little bit, and now we're having lead changes left and right. Guys are working together. We have 2 wide, all 4 cars deep, and this is an incredible race. But these guys saw that last race. They saw the carnage and the cautions. They know it's a long race. Are they going to keep racing this hard, or are they going to settle in?
There's almost an advantage of going second because you have a chance to kind of see how things play out. Although it's either an advantage or maybe not if you're super nervous and you get to see kind of what happens, or if the pressure's on you.
These guys have to be mentally tough. This is the most nerve-wracking race of the year. It's more pressure than it was for the Xbox guys because this is the only shot. This is what they have to do. And there's a point shakeup, so now they're feeling even different than they thought they were going to feel because they didn't even know where they were going to be in the points.
And you see there Mike RPM hanging out with his teammate Diego. Diego had a pretty good run in the Xbox race there, and now he's over the shoulder coaching his teammate Mike RPM, who currently runs in the 3rd spot. That team has really just shown some speed tonight at Homestead, consistently running in the top 5, but man, the top 4, no one is willing to give up anything early on in the race. Side by side, multiple lead changes. Hot Rod started with the lead, handed it to the Bear. Sloppy Joe took it, and now the Bear wants it back. I mean, these top 4 continually swapping spots.
Is this Daytona? I mean, look at these guys side by side for the lead, lap after lap. 5 cars deep. This pack of 5 right here are pulling away a little bit from the rest of them, but we know there's strategy involved here too. So is that second pack, are they saving fuel? Do they have a different plan than these first 5 guys?
Where's all those Sloppy Joe fans at? Yeah, there he is, riding on board with Sloppy out of RCR, taking the lead here. Now 3 wide, going into the corner. That may not work.
Sloppy Nation is going wild in chats. The 8s are all over the place as he's trying to hold off.
Well, hang on, he's just in the wall.
Hot Rod here.
They just tried to take it 4 wide, and someone finally had to give, and that unfortunately was the Bear. Got slipped out of that there. SHG now under fire from Sloppy Joe, who's in protect mode from Mike RPM. Again, these top 4 and 5 guys are not giving an inch of room.
And they're using a lot of their race car too as well. I mean, slicing and dicing like this early.
Every inch. Mike RPM had to be less than an inch away from wiping out Sloppy Joe out of that 2nd spot. But man, these guys are moving, they're bobbling, they're working as hard as they can, and we still have an incredible battle. 2 wide for 2nd place right now, 2 wide for 5th place. Man, this is crazy.
Just 8 laps into the event as we continue to ride on board with Sloppy Joe. Sloppy Nation out there, happy to see their driver up near the front. Hot Rod, though, still in the lead. Saw his teammate get the job done and probably figured, hey, if I'm in clean air, I'm doing something right and staying out of trouble.
Jerem Keffer back there in 13th. Is he saving fuel? Did he learn what Dohar did in the first race. Is he going to pit? What's he doing? What are these guys doing? There's so many different strategies, so many different ways to win this race.
And remember, it comes down to cautions too. So with these guys racing hard as they are this early, cautions could certainly play into that fuel mileage factor.
Keffer on pit road. Look at that. Different strategy. First one on pit road. That could play out big or it could hurt him. We'll find out.
Taking the risk, able to take that risk thanks to that second place run there by his teammate JRM Dohar. It's got to be a good feeling to know that you can try that different strategy. You can be a little bit riskier when it comes to trying those pit moves. But wow, challenge for the lead here. Sloppy Joe with a great run on the inside of Hot Rod, getting that momentum. And Mike RPM's gonna, well, you know what? He's gonna try and take it 3-1
for the lead. Look at that, unbelievable.
Mike RPM licked the stamp and sent it and said, hope it sticks. And right now he's going for the lead side by side with the 8 of Sloppy Joe. Right now Sloppy had the momentum, but boy, does that 44 look really good on the bottom. Gets up off the corner, still a drag race down to the start-finish line. Give this time the advantage to Sloppy Joe, but here comes Hot Rod.
Hot Rod moved up to help give a push to Sloppy Joe, and that's gonna help Sloppy Joe. Look at RPM making a move, trying to slide in front of him and take the air off of his nose, but man, these guys will not pull away from each other.
And it looks like we're about maybe to catch some lap traffic here, but goes to the bottom of the racetrack. Keffer, we saw him pit early. A couple other drivers, Voltage and Kyle Arnold, Parker as well, last week's winner, pitting early here. So now we've got multiple pit strategies taking place, and we just saw it looks like maybe the Bear dipped down to pit as well.
And you saw Keffer so slow on the back straightaway. He actually, I saw the dirt fly. I think he had a little bit of trouble getting off the apron there back onto the racetrack. That probably killed his outlap. So he'll may lose some time here.
Looks like he has some hood damage on Keffer's hood.
And he's looking to race for his lap back. You see there on the pylon again, all of your green drivers are championship contenders. Was 2 laps down and raced his way to be back on the lap. So he is now only 1 lap down. Pit stops though for your leaders. Lots of them coming down there, including Mike RPM, Sloppy Joe, Hot Rod, Fluffy, and Pennzoil, all down pit road. That hands the lead over to the rookie of DK Brown.
I wonder if the strategy by Keffer dipping down so early played into the fact of these guys saying, you know, I think it's time to start staving some fuel. So we'll see what happens here as DK Brown leads some of his first laps ever in the eNASCAR Heat Pro League.
And things are about ready to get crazy, but this eNASCAR Heat Pro League broadcast is refreshed by Coca-Cola. Things are about ready to get exciting. The laps are winding down, and we're glad to have Coca-Cola here to share the excitement with us. It's been a fun season this far, and it all comes down to Phoenix in just a few weeks for the winner-take-all. Job's now with the lead, showing some late season speed, and you see there the young gun of Slade for Wood Brothers. Unfortunately, that team did not move on after Kansas, but that doesn't mean he still doesn't want to win to prove the point that he was the #1 draft pick for a reason.
Well, now they're off strategy. Those two are the only ones that have not ventured down pit road, so they're hoping a caution comes out as Jobs and Slade have a healthy lead, but dealing with some of that traffic getting back on the racetrack as we look at the 25 of Nick Jobs.
And strategy isn't just about fuel right now in this race. Did you see how much new tires were worth when Keffer came back and got his lap back because he had those new tires?
He even had damage too.
He had damage, but he had those new tires. Who's going to have the newest tires at the end of this thing? Who's going to have fuel and tires at the end of this thing? That's what's going to make it extremely interesting.
I have a feeling this PlayStation race will play out nothing like the Xbox race, because thus far, 45 laps in, a lot of hard racing, multiple different pit strategies could set us up for yet another exciting finish. And we heard from the voice of SHG, Jake Morris, looking to get that team another sweep. They've done it before in the season. Both of their drivers, I mean, if you look at Hot Rod, he has 7 poles for the reasons. And again, take a look at the standings here. Penske currently running right now in 12th. But again, off pit cycles here. So after the first race, Team Penske, an only 10-point to the good here. Stuart Haas making some ground on that. And then again, your cutoff line and Levine Family Gaming and Gibbs below that line.
Wow, look at these guys hitting each other, bouncing off each other.
Caution is out on the racetrack, and it looks like this is your competition caution. All smiles right now for Nick Jobs, the leader at the caution, drinking the Mountain Dew, as he's got, well, an opportunity right now to go down pit road.
Did you guys see those points? I've never seen points so close going into a cutoff race that decides the entire championship. These guys are so nervous, I can't explain to you.
That's what we like to do here at the eNASCAR Heat Pro League. We like to make it intense every single weekend, and these drivers have done it time and time again. And again, correction, Levine Family Gaming and Roush Fenway below that cutoff line. Only 6 points, though, from Roush to that line. That's just a matter of a couple positions there. But, Zane, before we get ready to go green again, let's head down to you. You've got more on Keffer.
I do. I'm out of breath. I had to run all the way down to his pit stall. So what happened to Keffer is he actually got doored into pit road. He says the car feels great. He's going to work on it here. But the 13 got into Keffer there and sent him down pit road as we restart.
Thanks so much for the update, Zane. So still a lot of time to go for Keffer to get back up to the front. But right now, the young gun, Slade, was disappointed. Did not advance in the playoffs, but says I can still win races. And the 17-year-old can certainly do that. We've seen him do it before at Charlotte. And right now he's got that Wood Brothers machine in the lead, but not for long, because here goes Nick Jobs diving to the bottom of the racetrack, trying to bring Sloppy Joe with him.
He didn't have that lead long.
No.
The 25 car took that lead away with help from Sloppy Joe, and Sloppy Joe has showed us that he's consistently running towards the front. He has a fast race car. He's comfortable. He's making bold moves, and I think he's going to be a threat for this win when it comes down to the end.
There's Slade with the spin scooter. Beautifully sponsored race machine for Wood Brothers Gaming, as right now still side by side. That outside lane started to gang up on the bottom, and we saw the momentum they had. Will it last? Right now, no, as Jobs goes right back to the bottom and leaves Slade hanging out to dry. Now almost 3 wide off of turn 4. The Bear in the middle, and Hot Rod on the bottom.
This is when it gets crazy.
How about Voltage pushing his
guys
way?
Battling. 38 laps to go. This is when it happens. This is when the cautions come out. This is when these guys make mistakes and collect other drivers. I see it coming. You can't race this close for that long without having a big wreck.
And the Bear pushing Jobs there almost as they continue to battle for the lead. That playoff contender surrounded by non-playoff contenders with Slade on his back bumper there. Side by side, these drivers are all over the racetrack using every inch that they can. Someone is bound to slip up. Like you said, you see Voltage off throttle a little bit earlier there, and a little bit of a tap there with SHG, Hot Rod, and the Bear.
Still 3 wide off of turn 2. Look out, Nick Jobs crosses over 3 lanes of traffic.
3 wide right now, battling. My heart rate's racing. These guys are giving it all they have. This is incredible. They're working every lane, bottom, middle, top. Every lane is working right now. I love to see that. Produces such great racing.
Levine Family Gaming, 3 points outside the cutoff, trying to make it up right now with the Bear. Hungry to get back to victory lane. He won at Vegas in the first round of the playoffs. Now trying for the lead here at Homestead-Miami Speedway as we ride on board with Sloppy Joe on the outside. This is your battle for the lead. Playoff contender versus non-playoff contender. Doesn't matter. These guys are racing so hard right now.
Bear making a good move on the bottom there, but Sloppy Joe's been good running that second lane, so I think he'll hold him off. It depends what his help does in third place. Does he stick with the inside or does he go to the outside? That's going to make the difference in who takes this lead off of turn 2 right here.
And a little bit of tap between both those drivers, but they hold on to it, continue racing hard, and you see a little bit of an assistance there, but the Bear, man, takes the lead. Playoff contender looking to rebound from his teammate of HD Motorsports race. Doing good so far, but some assistance.
Look out, we got one hard in the outside wall in the back straightaway. Looks like Hot Rod.
We saw it coming. You can only race 3 and 4 wide for so long before somebody gets collected.
Caution is out, and Hot Rod, his teammate, got the win in Xbox, and right now, tough break for Hot Rod at Stewart Haas Gaming as we ride. Looking on board here of Sloppy Joe. But yeah, like you said, it was a matter of time. And right now we reset things. We'll see who dives down on pit road. But boy, oh boy, this is shaping up to be one heck of a race. As right now, the guy who was really hoping this would continue to be green was Voltage, because Gibbs right now was only 3 to the good. And Levine Family Gaming was 3 out of the good. So that's a tough battle right now to get in that 4th and final playoff spot.
Another opportunity for strategy. We know strategy is going to come into play. Is everybody going to pit here?
Be tough. Right now, it looks like a handful did as we look on board with Jason Keffer there. In our studios downstairs here in Charlotte, looks like most of the field did, except for maybe Slade, who still has 2 pit stops, as well as Parker, Kyle Arnold. But your playoff contenders down pit road as we get back under green once again with the Bear leading Nick Jobs into turn number 1.
Jobs has really hit on something at the tail end of this season, found some speed, been there to contend for wins. I know he's looking for that good win, was excited about a solid finish a couple weeks back, and he is hungry for that win, but someone who's even more hungry is the Bear, currently in the lead. When he shows up, he shows up. He's got a strong race car and makes it very difficult to challenge him for that. And again, the pressure's on even more so for him. When we went into this race, specifically for PlayStations, Levine Family Gaming was below the cutoff line. So the best place that he can be right now is in front of the field. And right now, everything's working out pretty well for him. He's got playoff contenders no closer than 6th. Everyone else is below 6th, but we talked about it. There's a lot of strategy that's still going to play in it. And at the tail end of 10 laps in the Xbox race, I did not think that anyone was going to finish how they were.
Oh, hot rod in the outside wall as you take a look at the bottom of your screen, the points. This was coming into tonight's PlayStation race, so certainly things are changing as the laps continue to wind down. But just 3 points between those two fighting for that 4th spot. Hot rod back toward the back of the field now after going down the inside.
Look at the Bear making the top work. That's probably the first time we've seen the leader running that high and making speed out of it, but he has Sloppy Joe behind him. I'm surprised Sloppy Joe didn't work more with Jobs, but I think when Sloppy Joe pushed Jobs to the lead, he stayed in line and didn't make a move, and Sloppy Joe wants to make a move. He's not settled sitting 3rd. Side by side for the lead. This is nuts.
So there he goes again, the 8 peeping his nose to the inside, will try to clear the 95 of the Bear. Looks like he just can't get back on the power as quickly as he wants. And that outside groove with Jobs right behind the Bear, trying to muscle their way around. But like you said, Blake, it's incredible the outside lane, how much they're really riding up there, and it's sticking and it's working.
And it's hard to pass somebody when they're outside of you. You're pinching your corner off, they have the momentum, and right now they both have help. So I think the 8 right now, Sloppy Joe is gonna come out with a lead off the 2 because he has help this time. But now there's 3 in line up top, so
2 by 2 by 2, and this is with 1 playoff contender, Sloppy, Jobs, DK Brown, and Mike RPM, not in the championship hunt. So if you're the 95, how careful, you gotta know who you're racing against.
And what are these guys doing in the back right now? 11, 12, 13th. Are they playing strategy? Are they saving fuel? Voltage, Kepper. Are these guys playing a different strategy than these leaders?
And hard racing in the top 7 here. And Blake, we're back to the same scenario we've talked about. You can only race this close. I mean, look at this. They are bouncing off of each other down the straightaways, pushing each other. You can only race this long until someone slips up. And at the front of the field right now, you're hoping you're the Bear and you're as far forward as you can be because everyone behind you not in those playoff positions.
Oh, look out, DK Brown gets into the back there, or the
I believe that's Pepper trying to get a lap back.
It is, and he's still a lap down, trying to hunt his way around to get back. If a caution should fall, gets the wave around. And
he has the newer tires, though. He should be able to drive around these guys really quickly and get that lap back.
But right now, there is no track for him to make that room there. I mean, he's about ready to take him 4 wide, bump in there with DK Brown and Zane. We're going to go down to you. You've been listening to Kepper. You've been watching this action. What is going on?
I told you guys before the race we were going to see it 3-4 wide, multiple groove racing, and that's what we're seeing right now. The big question you have to ask yourself as we watch Sloppy drop back here is how much did he burn up those tires racing Bear side by side? Bear had a better car on the outside line, but Sloppy was overdriving and working the heck out of that wheel to stay with them. How much does he got left in those tires with 4 times wear?
It'll be interesting, and only time will tell because those lap times are continuing to fall off just a little bit, but the whole field is, so he still looks pretty strong right now as Kepper continues to try to fight to get his lap back in that filter time machine. But boy, DK Brown, how about this run for the rookie? Came in halfway through the season.
And we ride along here with Pennzoil, one of those Penske drivers, currently a lap down. You look at that pylon there, 11th, 12th, and 14th, all playoff drivers and a lap down. We saw Kepper up there at the front of the field contending, trying to pass the leader, get his lap back, and put himself in a good position should a caution fall somewhere between now and 23 to go. Those new tires paying some due there, helping him to challenge for that. But man, you've got a contender leading and a contender rounding out the tail of the field.
And those two are going to hopefully work together because Voltage is also a lap down as you see the second car on the bottom groove of the racetrack trying to work with Kepper. Look out, DK Brown. Almost got on the outside of Kepper. Kepper, though, strong, bringing that inside groove, trying to get his lap back.
he needs to take advantage of those newer tires because it's eventually going to level out here. You see a middle of 3, that's not where you want to be a lap down. He needs to get around this leader and get his lap back.
Well, right now it's 3 wide down the back straight away. 2 cars a lap down. That outside groove on the lead lap.
Getting that assistance from Voltage, like you said, they're working together, challenging here for the lead. They both can benefit from passing the Bear. They're going to try and push each other as much as they can, and the focus on JRM Keffer. We always have joked the last couple races as we ride along on these in-car cams. You almost wonder sometimes if we have a still photo because their facial expressions do not change. Lots of focus for that driver, and right now he's got that head position in order to get his lap back there.
If he saw what we see, he wouldn't be that comfortable right now.
No,
because he has no idea that these guys are on him, right beside him, right behind him, pushing him. He's just got a windshield. He's trying to take that lead, but man, he's not in a great position right now. He needs to get away from these guys.
Haven't talked much about it, but that 17 creeping up for Roush Fenway Gaming is Fluffy. They had a rough go around and are 6 points out of playoff championship contention. So trying to get that 17 Ford Mustang to the front, but they're 3 wide at the front of the field, 3 by 3.
Oh my goodness.
Hold your breath and pull those belts tight.
Forget an in-car cam. We need an in-studio cam because Blake and I are up here just jumping up and down, cringing. We don't even know what to say half the time here. I mean, 3 wide. Keffer now with his lap back up in front. Voltage looking to take advantage of that with 3 wide for the leader. If you're a lap car right now racing with the leaders for 3 wide, that's a little gutsy.
It is, but you want a good pusher behind you, and he had Sloppy Joe behind him, and that's a fast car and was able to push him to the lead, so he needs to stay here, take advantage of the newer tires, because these guys are coming, they're hungry, they're running aggressive, and it is a tight points battle like we keep on seeing.
We simmer down just a bit, still now mostly single file, couple battles there in the back of the field, but Keffer getting his lap back the hard way, battling his way around the outside of the Bear, who continues to pace the field, but all sorts of challenges from DK Brown, again a rookie, plus here comes Fluffy, who's going to try to take over that second position. Roush Fenway moved them to second as an easy pass and a little slide job was made on that 32.
We saw late race cautions come out there, or pit stops, and if we get a caution, Keffer putting himself in a good position, still potentially needing to pit. 3 pit stops so far for him, but if they re-rack him, get a late caution here, he's shown he's got a great car. Some new tires could really put him in contention to move through the field and capitalize on a good finish here. I mean, impressive that he's able to drive to the front of the field here, get that lap back, but Fluffy has now taken the lead from the Bear, says, nope, we're going to put you back a lap down, Keffer.
Fluffy certainly made it look easy. And boy, oh boy, is he starting to stretch out his lead just a little bit, trying to put Keffer back another lap down. Boy, Keffer would love a caution right now. But it's too little, too late as the 17 motors his way around. Now he's going to dive on pit road and bring some of the leaders with him. Contact going to pit road. The 32 got squeezed out of the mix as everybody slows it down to that pit lane speed limit. And there's a look at your leaders going down pit road. So Keffer will now travel his way around, get back to the tail end of the lead lap. DK Brown still spun there on the entrance of pit road. Slade takes over the lead, and boy, oh boy, where to even look?
One thing nice about what Keffer's in right now, he's on a lap of his own. He didn't have to pit with the 10 other guys to get the contact and have a slow entrance to pit road. He's able to maximize a clean racetrack and hopefully have a better time on pit road than the rest of the field.
All right, this eNASCAR Heat Pro League broadcast is refreshed by Coca-Cola. Hopefully you're enjoying tonight's race, enjoying a nice cold Coke. Boy, oh boy, this is... So, yeah, we're gonna have to reset this here. So Slade just pulled on pit road, so we're gonna restack the field as they go through green flag pit stops. Keffer did make a pit stop, one of our championship contenders, so he'll get around and catch hopefully the tail end of the lead lap here, as Nick Jobs looks like will take over the lead once he gets to the start-finish line. Fluffy right there in third, fourth is Hot Rod, those 2 championship contenders. Hot Rod's teammate, Slick, got the job done taking the checkered flag in PlayStation. Can they go 2 for 2?
Is Penske stuck a lap down right now? I'm dying to know what the playoff points look like right now as they run. It's got to be close.
Penske had a 10-point advantage going into tonight's second race, and right now that number I'm surely is going down with Pennzoil stuck a lap down in this event, running 13th. Fluffy with Roush Fenway Gaming, boy, they were on the They're on the inside. So how about that? With Roush Fenway, or excuse me, on the outside, they're 6 back though. So every position right now is great. And what he wants to see is Gibbs, who right now is running back in 13th and a lap down, is struggling. So big point swing could happen here.
And Blake, we talked about it in the first race. You've been in this position. You're racing for the win. You want to get as good as finish as possible. But what's the communication like between you and your team? There is a race within a race right now. You're calculating points. You're calculating positions. I mean, what's that communication like? And what's going through the mind of a driver when, don't get me wrong, we're all out there to win, but you're also maybe racing to finish 5th because that's the position that locks you in.
Yeah, it's tough. You know, that's a decision you have to make with your team. Do you race for the win, or do you points race and try to hope that you did the math right? You know, it's always more difficult to race on the defensive side. When you're in defense, people take advantage of you. I would always love to go in there and attack and try to win the race. And if you make it, you make it. If you don't, you tried your hardest. But you can't try to guess on other people's strategy and what position you have to finish. Go out there and try to win the race.
Hot Rod and Fluffy, playoff contenders side by side. This is for the 2nd position. Nick Jobs, that white car, has a nice lead for Hendrick Motorsports Gaming Club. And this is the battle right here for points. Points are oh so precious. And right now, Fluffy wants Roush Fenway Gaming to get in the round of 4 in the winner-take-all championship finale. And right now doing everything he can, as there goes Sloppy Joe, as well as the 47 of Rowdy around the outside. So that may be a sign that we've got pit stops coming for Hot Rod.
Fluffy still looking for that win there. Might contend for it. Job's still with the lead, though. Having a pretty solid night. Again, a lot of different pit cycles under play right here. 11 to go. We're still going to see some things get shaken up there as a handful of contenders are starting to close towards each other on the racetrack. You've got Fluffy, SHG, Hot Rod, and the Bear all running close to each other there.
You know who's in a safe spot, and the only person in a safe spot? Job's in the lead right now, about 15 car lengths out front. Maintain that lead. It's getting chaotic behind us. Almost 10 laps to go in the race. That's when the pressure starts. That's when the nerves start hitting it, the anxiety and the pressure and everything you got to do to go lock yourself into that final round. It's now. Now's the time, 10 to go.
I'm sure he's close on fuel as well. We're going to all keep all our eyes on Nick Jobs. Can he go the distance? May have to pit again, hoping for a caution. We'll see. Right now, continuing to have the lead now 1 second over Sloppy Joe. As we ride on board with Fluffy, championship contender. Running 3rd, behind him the Bear in 4th, and Hot Rod in 5th. Now switch that. As we got one car on the inside of the racetrack on the front straightaway. That's Mike RPM. Has heavy damage on the front end of that race car.
Some handling issues looked like there for him, but again, back out to the front with Jobs. Pretty much the next 5 cars behind him, all on a different pit cycle, have pitted 4 times, and Jobs calling it close there on fuel. That distance is a safe place to be when it comes to side-by-side racing, but did he do the math right?
And the guy behind him is a lap down. That's not even 2nd place. He has a pretty big lead over 2nd place right now. You know what? The strategies are about to come in. People are going to start pitting. We never know what's going to happen, but it's tight racing, and they're giving it everything they have. We've got to appreciate that. A lot of nerves on the line, a lot of pressure, a lot to win and a lot to lose right now. 8 laps to go.
And riding along with the Bear, a playoff contender running 5th, and in front of him, 2 more playoff contenders, Hot Rod and Fluffy. They battle behind Sloppy Joe there for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. And a little bit of a slip up there by Sloppy Joe stacks the field up a little bit, and the Bear takes advantage of it. Will slide in front of Hot Rod for 4th and looks to challenge Fluffy. He wants that 1 more position to be the highest playoff contender. But Fluffy, with a solid car all evening long, holds on to it. These 3 are going to get dicey with 7 to go.
They are. Look at him with that run on Fluffy, and he gets by him. Can he stay in front of him? You want to be the top playoff contender in this race right now, and right now, the Bear is the top contender.
Could certainly come down to just 1 point. Right now, those 2 were on the outside looking in, so move the Bear into 3rd. 1 more point for that team. Will it be enough with 6 laps to go? Who has enough fuel? Right now, just 3 playoff contenders in the top 5. And we're looking at the rest of them right now. Keffer's still 31 seconds back after making that early pit stop. And Pennzoil and Voltage still a lap down as we ride on board with Pennzoil. My goodness, coming into tonight, 17-point lead. It was down to 10 before this race. Certainly that number's dwindling down even more as he rides in 10th.
He does not look comfortable right now. They are borderline. Is he in? Is he out? He doesn't know. He knows he's not far enough towards the front as he needs to be. Stuck a lap down right now. That is a horrible feeling and a bad spot to be in. Look at him. You can tell he's...
And right now, there's almost nothing he can do. Hope for a miracle right now as Penzo and Voltage continue to be a lap down. Keffer making some ground, but a lot of time still needing to get up to this leader. Still 30 seconds back in 8th as we ride on board with him in our studio here at the NASCAR Hall of Fame.
Pure concentration there. You can see it on Keffer's face in 8th. He's right in the middle of all of the mix. Fortunately, he has that good second place run to lean on by Dohar, but with everything being so close in points, no one. Oh, and if we look there, SHG Hot Rod into the wall, slips back there.
That's big right there. This is not the time to make the mistake. You only have 4 laps to get that momentum back, and I'm not sure if you can do it.
Yeah, and it looks like the run for a sweep for Stuart Haas Gaming may end there with the hit by Hot Rod to the outside of the wall.
But look at the ground that the Bear has now made up on the leader of Jobs. We just saw a shot there a second ago, and wow, he really pulled in and he's getting ready to challenge, but SHG Hot Rod said, hey, I'm going to rebound from that wall. I've got the leader and the Bear inside, and I jinxed it into the wall.
Hard to the outside wall is the 14 of Hot Rod. With 3 laps to go, will we? And yes, caution waves over the speedway. With 3 to go, we're going to have a shootout to the finish.
The whole season boils down to this next restart.
Now we have to look at this here. Look at our man Keffer. He was in 8th. He's now on the lead lap, and he had that caution. We saw him run really good on short runs, and we've now re-racked and stacked the field. He has every opportunity right here to capitalize on these last 3 laps and make up that ground that he's been missing. He was outside of the draft, outside of the racing pack, so the Bear is sweating right now. He was the highest running contender, and Keffer is thanking his lucky stars.
Away from championship talk, a guy who should be sweating too is this man, Nick Jobs.
They all should be sweating.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
Guys, you should hear Discord when that caution came out right now. It is insane. It's just a voices on top of voices on top of voices as we're getting ready to go green. But Jobs is not happy right now. He is heated.
Well, he's got to hold off some of the best in the business here as we get set. Shootout to the finish. Green, white, checkered. Continuing to monitor points, though, the Bear right now, Levine Family Gaming on the outside looking in. Could this be enough if he takes the 95 to victory lane? Fluffy trying to do the same for Roush Fenway Gaming in 3rd as we got a car sideways down the back straightaway and spun around. We stay green. Looks like that may have been Kyle Arnold. We'll double check that.
4
Hot
wide.
Rod, excuse me. That was a championship contender, but 4 wide, yes.
Unbelievable. Playoff contenders 4 wide. Battle in these last couple laps for those points. They may only need 1 point to make in it. They don't know what they need right now, but they need to pass the car in front of them.
White flag is out, and the 17 says it's time to go. Fluffy trying to get underneath Nick Jobs for 2nd. They touch. Here comes Sloppy. That's for 2nd, but the 95 has the lead. He won at Vegas, 2nd at Kansas. And here comes Fluffy for 1 more charge into 2nd. He makes it stick for another playoff point, but off of corner number 4. It's Levine Family Gaming and the Bear taking home the win in the penultimate race of the championship. How about that?
And what a solid run there for Fluffy, able to make that last lap pass there to take home that 2nd position. Again, every position counts, especially when it was a matter of a point that would get them in. So the Bear capitalizing, running a almost perfect race, staying out of most of the carnage and able to collect that win for Levine Family Gaming.
You know, if you're Fluffy too, you got to just think heartbreak. 1 more position for 2 guys fighting to get in the postseason or the championship round. And there is your unofficial results. The Bear getting the job done for his 2nd win during the postseason. Fluffy, solid 2nd place finish. We'll tabulate the points to see if it's enough. Nick Jobs comes home 3rd after leading before that last restart. Sloppy Joe 4th, and Mike RPM in 5th.
And Roush and Levine coming into this race below that line, finishing 1 and 2. Talk about drivers capitalizing there, but there it is. Keffer and Pennzoil, 6th and 7th. Your other 2 playoff drivers, pressure was on for them. Keffer, not the run he was probably hoping to get tonight, but hoping that JRM Dohar's finish in the race before was enough.
And rounding out the field, you see Hot Rod. They were solidly in with about a 9-point cushion going into 2nd race. We'll see how that stacks up. And then Voltage. Gibbs Gaming struggled right there. Will it be enough with only a 3-point cushion? I don't see it, just with how the other 2 did.
You know what? These guys, this is the most nerve-wracking part. Waiting for the points, waiting to see if you made it. They all gave it everything they had. They tried their best. Let's see if they're going to advance to the final round and race for that championship. It's a big one.
Incredible stuff as we get ready to talk here to our winner. We've got him dialed up on the guest line. The Bear from Tuscaloosa, Alabama gets it done for Levine Family Gaming. I can't imagine the elation for you. You knew you had to get every point you could, and I think winning does a pretty good job of that. How about that?
Hey, how about it, man? We rubbed on this thing, and we just kind of played our cards there at the end. Thought we was going to be a little short on fuel. Got a late yellow there and gave it all we had there. Hats off to everybody that worked with me today. Boy, we pumped. I just want to know, did we make it? Are we in or what?
Well, guess what? You guys are in. We will see you here in Charlotte.
That's what I'm talking about. Hey, I've been saying it since the playoffs started, baby. Just finish. Just finish. That's what I'm talking about.
And you have done more than just finish. 3 wins to the season. Locks you guys into Phoenix. We look forward to having you guys come here to Charlotte and battle it out for Levine Family Gaming.
All right, just shout out to LFG for picking me and having faith in me. Shout out to my teammate HD for giving it all he had tonight. I know he got in a lot of trouble, and, man, he drove his heart out to get where he could. And now we're going racing for a championship, baby. Let's roll.
Awesome. Well, congratulations, my friend. We look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks here in Charlotte as we take a look at our unofficial standings for the points. So here's the 4 that are moving on. We talked about Levine Family Gaming, Stewart Haas Gaming, 3 points, both of them tied. And then Junior Motorsports still solidly in there in 4th. And Team Penske retains the points lead going into the winner-take-all finale. 2 weeks here in Charlotte. Unbelievable. How about that, Blake?
It's unbelievable.
3 points.
3 points. 3 positions on the racetrack. Roush Fenway, Gibbs missing the final 4. Stewart Haas, Levine, Junior Motorsports, Penske. Penske with a great rebound that could have gone bad, but they pulled it together. They made the most of their opportunity, and these 4 drivers get to race for a championship.
And Roush Fenway Gaming, Fluffy coming home second. This race was not enough. It could have been a matter of a point or a position or 2, so heartbreak for Roush Fenway Gaming and Gibbs as their playoff run ends tonight at Homestead. But Junior Motorsports, man, have gained some traction in the last couple races. Keffer able to join us in the studio. He was a man on a mission, had a race for your lap back there, buddy. First off, what is the emotion? You get to come to Charlotte, well, you live here, but you get to come and race for a championship with Junior Motorsports. The excitement that comes with it.
Right now I'm feeling about a million different things, but it's really awesome. I never would have thought that I was even going to get drafted, and then of all teams, it was Junior Motorsports and Dell Jr., so that was really awesome. But what a different, what do you call it? How many emotions tonight that I go through, because it was way too many. It was a lot of downs and up and stress, and we pulled it out, I guess, but man, I don't know. I'm just glad we did it.
And you got to do it here, and you had your daughter there behind you screaming. What was that like hearing her the last few laps?
Honestly, I couldn't really hear because I had my headset on, I had the car, I had guys in the PS4 party kind of yelling at each other, and then I have you guys in my other ear, so there was a lot going on, and I was really trying to focus, but I didn't know, I didn't know where anybody was. I just knew I had to pass every single car I could. I had to try to pass. I normally wouldn't race the leaders like that, but I had to get back on the lead lap in case the caution came out. I didn't want a chance being behind the 20, and then he gets to go around and gets the points and we don't, so I had to send it. I think we raced mostly clean. I don't think I really got anybody too hard. If I did, I'm really sorry, but we recovered after a lap 5 incident and spent the whole race recovering, finished 6th. I'll take it.
Man, it was an incredible year for you. A year ago, I didn't even know who you were. Then you get drafted. You get drafted by Junior Motorsports, racing for Dale Earnhardt Jr., a Filter Time sponsor on your car. It's so cool to see you making the most of that opportunity. And now you have the opportunity to get Dale Jr. a championship and everybody at Junior Motorsports a championship and everything that they're shooting for.
Man, that's amazing. I just can't believe it. So we have a shot. We're there now. So it's on the ISM. And, hey, we did it. I think we probably got Filter Time a lot of time. TV time tonight, I hope. So I think it was a good night. So thank you guys for being here and doing this for us, and thank you to Junior Motorsports and Tyler for what he did. If he doesn't go out there and do what he does, we're not in it. So it's all on him, and thank you to him and Jay Mons and all those guys to help out, man. So thank you guys.
Well, Jason, congratulations again. Sigh of relief and get set for 2 weeks because it all goes down right here once again for a championship.
All right, thank you guys.
Awesome. And Blake Cook, I tell you what, for a first-timer here doing this, this was incredible. Thank you for coming in. What's your overall takeaway? Is there one takeaway?
Adrenaline, man. My heart's still pounding. It's such close racing, so much on the line, and these guys were constantly battling. What a show they put on. I had a blast. Thank you so much for having me on.
Well, if you're available, it's only going to get more exciting in 2 weeks.
One more.
As winner take all, we've got one more race in Phoenix, and we have teed up for one of the most exciting championship finales I'm prepared for.
Absolutely. All 28 drivers, yes, live here at the NASCAR Hall of Fame, racing with 14 there, well, actually 4 going for a championship in each of our 2 divisions. How about this? Wednesday, October 23rd, folks, right here. You can tune in at 7:30 Eastern on NASCARHeat.com, as well as 704 NASCAR Heat and NASCAR Heat on Facebook and Twitch. Boy, I got to tell you what, this is insane, and it's only going to get better to see who takes our first ever eNASCAR Heat Pro League champion.
Absolutely. Again, thanks, Blake, so much for coming in. We look forward to racing for the first eNASCAR Heat Pro League championship in just under 2 weeks at ISM Raceway, winner take all, here live at the NASCAR studio. We hope that you guys make the time to tune in and watch these drivers race for a championship.
Thanks for tuning in, folks. We'll see you in 2 weeks from here in Charlotte. Have a good night.
Nice job, man. It's like you're pro, man. It's like you called us like 8 times.
I watch them, and I watch a lot of NASCAR. So I just try to have good energy, and they had good energy.
Yeah.
So hopefully,
you guys were great.
It's hard not to after a race like that.
I know.
The first time, I will lie, I've never watched any, and then I remember the first race that we called was just a preseason race or whatever.
Yeah.
And I went into it and I was like, okay, my brother watches, I don't even know half the video games. What's more did Jeff have playing? Fortnite. Thank you. My brother watches Fortnite games. I should know this stuff. And I was like, how do you watch other people play? You know what I mean? And I was like, okay, I'm not sure how this is gonna go. We had them do the prom pose and stuff like that, and they would pull cam shots of us, and I'm jumping up and down. I'm like, this is insane. Yeah. I mean, I grip my hands, I catch myself fist clenching. I'm like, this is insane.
I know a couple times I didn't want to say anything. I couldn't help it because you see somebody racking or
There was a couple times you were like this, like, oh, what is he doing? Oh, it's great.
It made me feel good when I was like this, and I look over and he's just as contorted as I am. I'm like, okay, we're good. We're all excited. But hey, thank you. I appreciate it.
Having
Good job. Thank
having
you.
a third
That was
person in
intense.
here, it just takes a little load off you.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh
That's
yeah.
a lot of talking.
It's 2 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, anyway.
And you gotta stay talking, right? I feel like
You do.
For the
Yeah,
most
oh,
part,
gosh,
yeah.
Yeah, I know. It's tough. You guys did a great job.
Hey,
One
thank you.
more.
Appreciate
One
it.
more.
awesome. Thank you.
That was
intense racing tonight.
Good luck.
That was
Cool.
good.
How
Thank you.
was
Yeah,
it,
thank
right?
you.
Thanks, Blake.
Thank you. Take a little break if you need it, and then we'll do the highlight and get you out of here. So, good job.
That works. Thank you.
Nice job,
That was
first-time
intense.
producer.
Thanks. I was just trying to keep track of the
Yeah.
points and then jumping in your ear, so I hope that wasn't too
No,
distracting. But I was
You're
like,
fine. The
we
more,
gotta get
the more
these guys
direction
into a lap
sometimes, the
down,
better.
and, those guys got let down. I'm like,
Yeah.
what the fuck are they doing?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, I could, early I was like, well, if this goes any like the other race, yeah, they'll be fine.
Right.
And I was like, okay, there's no cautions.
Yeah.
There's no cautions. Like, oh, they're screwed.
And they were 2 laps down, and then you had people racing laps back, and you're like, okay, they didn't intend to get 2 laps down.
Right,
and
so now
you're
they're like,
racing
crap,
the leaders.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
And it's so hard because we don't have points as they run, so we're just sort of like half guessing, where people are kind of at. But
Well, and at least like with like Roush and Levine, like you knew like they were 3 points out or 3 and 6.
They were under the
so
cut.
Right, so you knew like every position they're getting closer, but like the other ones, it's like, well, I don't know if they lost 2 points on that.
Right, so like Fluffy with that second place run, I was like, oh, well they're probably
should be in.
And So you were like, how did that confidence?
Yeah.
Literally.
I know. It's so many like inches.
Ugh,
So.
Incredible.
crazy.
But yeah, in those situations where it's like points watching and this and that,
Yeah.
it's like the more info you give, the better. Don't worry about
And
like.
the good thing with in 2 weeks is we're only really worried about the 4. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
granted, we'll cover the other guys if they're
I was
leading
gonna
and
say
that
like
sort of thing,
how
but
do you want to do it? Like
it's gonna be just like Homestead for real when they race in Miami in
true.
November.
Like okay, you know the leader if it's not a championship guy because
I mean,
where's
you're
our...
paying attention to the 4. That's really what we're worried
Do
about.
you think we might do more like picture in picture? Have like here's like your top championship guy, and then like if he's not in the lead, like if he's 8th or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, the 4 are gonna be in their own little.
Oh, okay.
They're gonna be in their own little pod.
Okay.
So they're gonna be a POV on 2 of them and a POV on the other 2. So
Yeah.
we'll have them
Okay.
basically no matter what. So yeah.
Cool.
Sweet.
It'll be
Awesome.
Excited.
All right.
Fun.
Cool. We'll get the highlight done in a minute.
Alrighty.
Perfect.
He was awesome. Lake Code was awesome. Like that was like he was really good.
Oh yeah.
Not like to take anything away from the other people, but like having analyst experience helps. Because he kind of knew like when to chime in, and like he would like say something, but then he'd see like a battle, and he would quickly like finish his thought. So like
He was excited.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
that was honestly the biggest thing. Like you have
Ross
to
was excited.
Ross was excited, but didn't have the
Well, he just
experience
had
of being like
right,
for the
right,
radio experience where Blake does and has like the analyst side of him. Like Winston Kelly should have been a shoo-in as far as like being the radio in booth analyst,
right.
but he didn't know what was going on half the time to be able to get excited. You know what I mean?
I wonder if there's a way that. Well, I guess not. But like you know, like those billboards.
Nick Jobs just said P3 at Homestead should have won if we had 14 pro leaguers, but unfortunately we only have 13. What was he pissed at? Floppy?
I mean, he got like pinched in the wall, but it was nothing like stupid. It was. It's the product of racing 3 wide.
I'm just curious. Sorry, go ahead though.
No, I was thinking like those Coke billboards. I feel like it sucks because we don't have commercials, so they're so just like you can't like so it's just like you have to throw them in at random times.
Yeah.
But I was like, I wonder if there's a way we could do them that's like a little bit like better. I don't know how.
We would have had a ton of fun, or like a ton of time. You and I totally could have done like some makeshift candid Coca-Cola commercials. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like you and I sit here and be like, yeah, I'm really excited about the Heat. The NASCAR Heat Pro League race. Shh. Oh nice, you got a coat. Like we could have had so much fun with it.
Oh
for
yeah.
nothing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So someone just messaged me. Hold on.
Wait, sorry, what?
No, you're good. I'm just looking at this too. So someone just messaged
Or like, can you donate $1 just so you can see like what they send like as a receipt? Because like they have to send you something. Because it's like, I forget what it's called. Like when you do like donate to a charity, it's like 501c. Did you watch Racing Wives? You didn't. I didn't either. I was just curious if anybody I knew watched it. saw Jobs posted a video and he was just calling out the 14, saying he didn't save enough, so he wrecked the field.
He did.
He did?
Yeah, he does all the
Yeah.
time. We kicked him out of our personal league because of that crap.
Oh, really? Really?
Yeah. Wow. He did it in Charlotte, the very first race.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
Okay.
He
you, and we thought you were gonna come on camera, and you didn't.
Oh no, I was in there with him. I let it go, and I was like.
Which one's the? Is this the ladies' room right here?
There's one that says makeup room, and there's one that says women.
Yeah, see what's up.
Yeah, there's bathroom in there. Actually, it's a really nice bathroom. I'm like, hello, can I live here?
Yeah, right.
Oh man, oh man.
Yeah, that was I don't know. I can't like top laps in there. I got wrecked by the 13. Destroyed that car, and I was like, oh, here we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a night.
That's what Blake was saying too. He's like, well, I mean, like, okay, and then like pitted, and like some people pitted, you know, that were caught a lap down. I'm like, okay, like caution will come out, like no caution are coming out. I'm like, oh, there they go. They're trying to get the lap back.
There was
Like,
2 laps. I was like, shit.
I wasn't gonna mess around. I was like, I'm going for this. I gotta get in front of back, stay in front of bags for the lucky dog, or just get in front.
yeah.
And if it
Show
came out.
everyone.
Thanks.
And then it did come out. Actually, I was saving fuel. I had enough fuel to make it whenever I was spinning. I was clutching it. In the corners.
Repacking?
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
You're not gonna be on camera.
So I guess if it doesn't go, if it goes green, I finish third. Because Jobs was gonna win with his fuel.
Okay.
Ryan.
Yeah,
Bubba.
that's what he was
Are
saying.
these all branded?
Yes.
Austin.
But he said he had a 3-gear setup in his, which is why on the
Torres?
green, white, check, restart.
I know NASCAR so well.
Oh, dude, I'm telling you, that was one of the best races. Like Blake was like jumping up and down, like, look at what they're doing.
I was like,
I have popcorn
I don't
cheese on
want to
my
wreck
legs.
the leader here.
Right.
I was like, but man, I've got to stay. Because Bags was right there.
Right. Oh, yeah.
Lucky dog spot.
Dude, it was nuts.
I can't imagine being him, though, like coming home second and missing it by 3 points.
He did. Wait, Bags finished second.
No.
Wait, no.
Oh, Fluffy.
Fluffy finished
Sorry, who's
second.
Bags?
Voltage.
Oh.
Boy, he was. Y'all, can y'all hear Discord?
No, we can't.
Oh man.
Zane is the only one that
That's
can
the
hear.
thing. I could hear our party that we were talking in the race. And I could hear you guys in my ear. Then I could hear the car. Then I could hear Discord.
Oh,
So I was trying to.
Yeah.
I was like, did they call me?
Yeah, no, you were good.
No, yeah, you're fine.
Where do you actually live in, like Charlotte zip code? Yeah.
Yeah, just on the northwest side. So, like towards Huntersville. Like if you go up.
Like Mallard Creek area?
No,
kind of?
not that far. More like northwest. Like if you get on Mount Holly Huntersville Road.
Okay.
You know where that's at.
Yeah.
So,
I live in Cornelius, so I guess Cornelius. So I always take Mount Holly, go as far up as I can.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah, it's only like 15 minutes from here.
nice. That's not bad.
I live a mile from here, just down the street.
One of these.
Hate me
Yeah,
to
right.
money.
No. Well, no. You know Optimus Hall that just opened?
I don't.
Like, okay, well, it's like right up, like you go over 277 and it's like right there.
Oh.
Yeah.
We first moved down here. We lived in Valentine Park. 'Cause I didn't really know the area.
Yeah.
And then ended up buying a house.
Gotcha.
Which, you know, I paid less for the house than I paid for the damn apartment.
I bet.
I'm like having a real rough time paying rent right now, but I'm like, okay, with my job, and I'm 22. I'm like, I've got some time, so I'm like, I'll rent for another year or so, and then I'm like, I'm gonna buy a house because right now, what me and my roommates all pay combined in rent, our landlords are making killies on
You get no
rent.
equity out of it.
Nothing. But I'm like, okay, I'm 22. I can afford to rent for another year. There's no reason for me to buy a house.
So I was in the Air Force. I was in my 20s. They actually paid the VA the housing. So I lived in DC and they got an apartment, but they paid for it.
Love it.
I had to save that money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. There you go.
All right, we're going to
Yes.
Oh, okay, so Brittany.
Yeah, so usually, you asked if we usually write them down, correct? So, yeah, usually she'll tee them up for us, and then we'll just kind of do like a walkthrough as far as talking about, okay, so-and-so battles with so-and-so, this does this, move for this, and then we like can framework them out. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Okay.
God. Yeah, how do you make them?
Yeah, if you want to give us the notes, that would be awesome.
Okay.
Cool. Perfect. Stand by. One second here. Out of gas. Track bar. And then you said Shell V to the lead. Where? Okay, wait. Yeah. So track bar leading. Okay.
From the pole.
From the pole, Mr. Consistent. Battle here with HD. Moving up in the field. Oh, yeah, runs out of gas. Okay. Oof.
Takes the lead. Off of 2.
Bounces off of each other. Diego. Involved in that. And then ooh.
So the first one was actually the one before. So, like, he hits the wall. Keep going back. Keep going back. Keep going back. So yeah, this was different.
Is this a different wreck?
Yeah, because like in the other one, he was backwards by now, but he's just riding the wall there with Diego. Yeah, so you can just go from that one to this one. There you go. So yeah, now this is the big wreck. Okay. Okay.
And then are you going to have results? Just, okay, so then we'll have results, but we're not doing, yeah, and then.
Right.
Okay,
So as
cool.
soon
So
as
just
like
results.
whichever one of us says the last thing, just stop.
Okay.
Cool.
Yep. I think we're good. PlayStation.
Yep. PS4. Bear to lead.
So we're not doing that 4 battle? Oh, wait.
Big pack behind him, yeah.
Keffer and Voltage looking to get their laps back.
Fluffy.
Fluffy.
Second was Fluffy. Keffer was 6th.
Cool.
And results, pause, and then we'll do another recording of just the points in the next race. Oh, okay.
Okay, cool. Do you want me to just pick up points just knowing that you lay out at the end of each one of these? Does that make sense? Like you wrap the tail end of results from each of these and I'll pick up on points?
Yes, you want
Does
to
that make sense?
You want to pick up on this one?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
And then you'll just tail end results for both packages. Sorry, I didn't know if you were counting me in.
No, we're just watching it.
Okay. All good. Sorry. And with Homestead now behind us, we've dwindled it from 6 to 4 to battle it out for a championship in a winner-take-all. And there you have it. Roush Fenway Gaming and Gibbs Gaming, their championship hopes ended at Homestead.
Just by 3 points as Levine Family Gaming and Stuart Haas Gaming get in, as well as Junior Motorsports and Team Penske Esports that has led the way since the start of the season. Those 4 will vie for a championship.
And we look forward as a winner-take-all live here from Charlotte from the NASCAR Hall of Fame. That's right, all 28 drivers here on campus for the championship finale at ISM Raceway. Wednesday, October 23rd, 2 weeks away. Coverage begins at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. You guys can tune in live on NASCAR 704 Heat on Twitch and Facebook. We look forward to seeing you October 23rd for the eNASCAR Heat Pro League Championship race. Invite me to be a guest on the infield.
Is that, who does that? Ashley? No.
Sam Bush and Ashley Weaver, or Alex Weaver.
Oh.
Kind of both. Actually, I watched Kim's. I watched Kim's and I love Kim. Kim actually makes me giggle. I didn't know she was on The Bachelor either, though. In all honesty, though, I don't know if I would have, like, outside of the racing spectrum, I don't know that I would have much pop culture stuff to, like, relate to them with. Does that make sense?
Is it only females? Like, I can't be...
Yeah, it's a female-driven podcast. It's, like, pop culture-y.
Oh, that's all good.
Yeah, no.
I was going to say, I mean, I'm good with pop culture, but if it's like, you're going to be the only guy on the show, like, ever, then, okay, well... Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was looking at their outfits... And honestly, the first thing that came into my mind was like, if I ever got invited, what in the absolute hell would I wear? Because in all seriousness, I'm like, I don't own leopard print and I don't own any colored skirt.
Wait, no. Got clipped again.
I know, it's weird when you can't hear yourself.
Six teams fighting for 4 championship spots as the Xbox drivers got underway at Homestead-Miami Speedway with Track Bar leading from the pole.
And HD Motorsports looking to make some ground, moves his way up through the field, but your leader Track Bar Unfortunate break for him. Runs out of fuel early on in the race.
Right before a caution, too, but here goes the battle for the lead when we got restarted. Shell V for Team Penske Esports, finding his way to the front.
Looking to pad that points lead that Penske had going into the event there, but cautions breed cautions. And HD, a big wreck, sends a lot of drivers spinning, including J-Mac and Casey.
Ton of cars with a lot of damage, but then here we go with a couple laps left. Garbage was going for the lead, and then he hit the wall, started dropping back. Not good for points.
Not good for Roush Fenway Gaming at all, but there you see it. Slick and Dohar, it came down to some fuel mileage strategy. These two would battle it out for the win in the closing laps.
And it's SHG Slick who gets the win over Dohar, who finished second. Solid points for Junior Motorsports to keep them above the playoff cut line.
And you see the sigh of relief there for that Junior Motorsports driver. That second place finish was all he needed. SHG Slick with the win. Your front row playoff contenders there.
How about Moordog, a solid top 5 finish for Hendrick Motorsports Gaming Club, and Track Bar, after running out of gas, comes home with the top 5.
And there it is, the Bolt in 6th, another playoff contender. Pretty decent run there for Gibbs Gaming and HD Motorsports after a bad wreck, comes home in 10th.
And rounding out the field, Casey, while that's Garbage, who had a tough luck there at the end of the race. Shell V, points leader, coming home 13th.
You want me to pull this one? Sure. Sorry, this one? Cool. How do you, I'm not going to try it. How do you say that word? The penultimate.
Penultimate. There you go.
I'm not going to say it because I'm going to kill it.
It's like second to last.
The second to last. Yeah.
Yep.
It came down to this race to lock the final 4 into the winner-take-all at Homestead. It was 4 drivers or 4 teams that were going to battle it out, and the Bear wanted that spot for Levine Family Gaming.
Mr. Mile and a Half gets it done on the bottom side of the racetrack, but how about Nick Jobs for Hendrick Motorsports Gaming Club gets it right back, Sloppy Joe hard in tow.
4-wide racing throughout the pack the entire race. And you see here, Keffer, Voltage, all of these drivers looking to lock themselves in here. And Keffer looking to race around the leaders to get his lap back.
How about this? 3 wide folks couldn't get any closer as Keffer tries to get this lap back. He does, and the 95 of the Bear right on the outside trying to hold tough there with Voltage making a run.
SHG Hot Rod looking to back it up to his teammates' win, but misfortune strikes into the wall, and around goes SHG Hot Rod. His win hopes would end there.
Starts a green-white checkered restart for all the marbles here as Nick Jobs tries to hold off the Bear, but the Bear gets the nice run around the outside and pulls away for Levine Family Gaming. A team that was on the outside looking in gets the win at Homestead-Miami Speedway.
And that was all it took there with that win. Playoff contenders, the Bear and Fluffy in that front row there. Strong run for Nick Jobs in 3rd, and Mike RPM with a great run in 5th.
Solid run for him. J.R. Keffer, how about this? He was in studio with us racing, comes home with a 6th place finish after getting his lap back. Pennzoil, championship contender. Tough night, but rebounds for 7th.
Rowdy in 9th, and you see there, SHR Hot Rod comes home 11th.
And Voltage, another playoff contender, was struggling there to get to the front, comes home 12th, and rounding out the field, the rookie, DK Brown.